Guys, thank you. The calm and confidence that comes with unsurpassed preparation among college quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson's leadership and decision-making on display as he tries to get Clemson into the bracket. Marquise Williams, a more excitable personality. He is hyped up for this return to his hometown, eager to redeem a poor performance in the opener. The Tar Heels and the Tigers. This has been the Nissan.
This is Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
This is Jimmy Wee Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. Moments ago, Larry Fedora in his 4th season at North Carolina, inspiring his guys, underdog tonight against Clemson.
They don't know what's inside this locker room. They don't know what's inside this team. They don't know the bond that you guys have. They don't know the love that you have for each other. They don't know it, man. But they're fixing to find out. You talk about respect. All right, what happened out on that field, that wasn't respect. But the only way we're going to get it is to knock it out of them. Take it, that's right. Knock it out of them. That's it, man. Have fun today. Have fun tonight. Have fun with each other. The guys that you love. All right, let's have fun. And beyond everything, let's play Carolina-style ball, man. Play smart, play fast, play physical. Let's go.
Respect, their first ACC title since '80, and perhaps a lot more on the line. Tom Rinaldi joins us with Larry Fedora.
Chris, thank you. Coach, you've maintained all week that if you win, you should be in. How have you coached this group to handle this moment?
We've coached them the same way we have every single week. You can't coach any harder. So we've been coaching them the same way all week, and they've handled it the same.
Good luck to you tonight, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Let's go over to Heather.
Tom, thanks so much. Dabo, you have consistently told me that this team is built for the big stage. What have you seen today that confirms your belief that they're up for the challenge?
I had a great week of preparation. You know, it's the same old for us. The only difference is there's no game next week. So we'll try to play our best 4 quarters of the season tonight.
Leaving that all on the field. Coach, thank you. Chris, back to you.
Dabo's 100th game as Clemson's head coach. Be who we are is always the mantra, because we are good enough to beat anybody when they just play their game. Carolina won the toss, and they deferred, so Clemson will get the football first.
And after all this build-up since August about who's in, who's out, you talked about it in the open, Chris. We know that Alabama is more than likely in, and Oklahoma, who's not playing today, is in. The Big Ten Championship will decide it. What happens tonight here in Charlotte? Does Clemson get it done to be that 4th team, or does North Carolina potentially kind of mess things up for Clemson and open up a big discussion for not just Carolina, but teams like Stanford and Ohio State?
Nick Weiler to boot it away. C.J. Fuller will hesitate, but then take a knee. So here comes Deshaun Watson, the brilliant sophomore. 3,223 passing yards. He's run for 756. So many ways he hurts defenses.
Yeah, he just, again, has a great feel for this offense. Ran the same offense in high school. So he prepares like a coach. He's basically a coach out on the field for this offense. But his disposition, watch him tonight. He is as calm as you're going to see. Reminds me a lot of Marcus Mariota in his demeanor and his approach last year for Oregon.
That's a high compliment to be compared to Marcus Mariota. It's Wayne Gallman, and the running back gains 10 on first down. Gallman off a 1,145-yard season, back healthy after missing a game 2 games ago.
And remember, this is going to be a big story in this game. Clemson wants to run the football against this style of defense to eventually set up the big play potential in their passing game.
He motions out, so empty backfield on first down. Watson. Complete to Hunter Renfrow in the slot. That play also gains 10 yards, so the Tigers are rolling. They'll actually spot it just short of the line.
They run the football. They stretch you horizontally with their formation, sideline to sideline. They create the vertical seams, and they eventually try to attack into the interior against those linebackers and safeties.
Watson keeps it and crosses midfield. Can they be patient enough, avoid the turnovers, and avoid the penalties? That's what Chizik wants to force this offense to do.
Remember, the former Auburn head coach who led the Tigers to a national championship has been doing this for the defense. Doesn't have the most talented group, but it's a bend but don't break zone. Keep everything in front of you. Let them run the football and then try to squeeze down in the red zone.
Gallman knocked down after a short gain. When the Tigers cross midfield, though, you do have to beware for the potential deep shot. They love to use Watson's deep ball accuracy.
Well, the last 6 weeks, we've had him a couple times, you and I, and early in the year, they were still kind of working on their timing. These last 5 or 6 games, they're as good as anybody you're going to see at getting those shots downfield. Again, Carolina's goal is not to give up the explosives in the pass game.
Another short completion. That's Sharon Peak who makes the catch. He doesn't have first down yardage. It'll be 3rd down and about 2.
Yeah, and the safeties right now are starting to attack down and starting to get involved in that short passing game and in the running game. That's Donnie Miles, number 15, who is involved in that play. He's a sophomore who leads the Carolina defense in tackles, so he is very, very aggressive. They'll play him to the short side, and he comes downhill in a hurry. If he gets too aggressive, that's when they'll try to use a double move and go by him.
Both offenses very efficient on 3rd down. Gallman lowers the head, and the former outside linebacker in high school shows the toughness, moves the chains.
And he picked up a great block by his tight end, Jordan Leggett. Watch 16 as an H-back here. Boom, picks that linebacker up who was actually blitzing downhill. Shaquille Rashad does a nice job right there, and that's all in this offense. You don't have to blow people off the ball. Just get a hat on a hat and let Gallman find the hole.
Watson back, under pressure. Does take the deep shot downfield, and Deon Cain, the fine true freshman, covered by Malik Simmons.
They moved their best receiver, Artavis Scott, right here, and they're going to use the option look to isolate Deon Cain down the sideline. It's a great call, and they used the option look to try to get the linebackers and safeties to freeze, and it was just outstanding coverage that time by the Carolina defense. How about Malik Simmons running stride for stride with a true freshman, Deon Cain.
Beautiful play by the senior from Florida. Watson on 2nd down, pitches far side. This is Artavis Scott. Got one block and sneaks away for a couple of yards, but it'll be 3rd and long.
Well, I'm really impressed there with a sophomore out of Arlington, Virginia, M.J. Stewart, the best defensive back. He's at the front there. Watch him work off of not only 1, 2 blocks to be able to get off of it, and then he's involved in making the tackle. That's a great effort that time by Stewart.
Tar Heel faithful are outnumbered here, but they're on their feet trying to make it tough on Watson.
Chris, the tough thing here is, do you play man-to-man where the quarterback run is a real threat on 3rd down?
And he takes off. Watson looking for that marker, dives out of bounds, and they'll spot him short. He stepped out about 3 yards short. It'll be 4th down.
And they're trying to trap him. They realize on 3rd down, Gene Chizik is a very smart defensive coach, and he knows what I just said to you. 3rd down, you play man, you better have some linebackers spying, and that time they did. Rashad chases him out of bounds before he picks up that 1st down.
Greg Hugel will try a long field goal, 47-yarder in his streak of making 16 straight. 17 for 17 in ACC games on the line here early. Gets the boot away and just short. So Hugel's streak is snapped, and the Tigers come up empty.
I know it's early, but both coaches said the same thing. When you expect a lot of points, getting a stop is huge, and the Carolina defense steps up with a big stop here on the first series for the Clemson Tigers offense.
Just short of the crossbar. Marquise Williams and Tar Heels go to work when you come back. Dr. Pepper Spotlight looks at the opening loss for the Tar Heels, a game that really fueled Marquise Williams to get back to Charlotte, to redeem himself. He got a post-game phone call from Peyton Manning to try to raise his spirits after all those picks down in the red zone. He said it was a great phone call, and he is eager to redeem himself, and he's off and running on the Tar Heels' first play. And he's a physical runner, slung down, and that's going to cost him 15.
Yeah, the horse collar on the back end of the play here. And they love to run Marquise Williams early to just get him to settle in. And see the coach is frustrated with after the play.
Personal foul. Defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And TJ Green, who's been outstanding this year, and first year as a starter, and he knows this. I mean, it's just he actually with his right hand grabbed on and then tried to let go, but at that point it was way too late. So you pick up big yards and you throw the penalty on top of it.
Heels suddenly approaching the Clemson 40 as they hand it off inside to Elijah Hood from Charlotte Catholic High School, who's had the third best rushing year of any Tar Heel tailback.
Yeah, you combine him and Marquise Williams. They are a physical running team. You know, last year they couldn't really run the ball. Only 152 yards. This year, 230 a game.
Play action. Williams still has it and flips it short. It's behind Mac Hollins, the junior from Maryland, who's the deep threat. Shaq Lawson making his presence felt.
Well, he had a wide open Ryan Switzer here off the play action. Lawson puts a big hit there. He lowers the boom. But Ryan Switzer off to play action. Look, the slot receiver, one of the better slot receivers in the country, open. He just didn't see him.
Helmet torn off, so Williams has to come out. Mitch Trubisky, the sophomore from Ohio, who came in a similar situation and threw a touchdown pass against NC State in his one attempt in the game. They're not afraid to throw it with this guy. And he finds Hollins, who's down inside the 25, and now comes Williams back in the game. Backup does his job.
Nice throw. How about Mackenzie Alexander? He likes the challenge, but look at him bailing. He respects the speed of Hollins, who got deep last year on him, and he's bailing. It creates a cushion and a good throw by the backup, Trubinsky.
Now they hand it to Hood. He bangs off tackles and still runs down inside the 15. A 220-pounder shows his strength, and a flag is down.
I think there might be a face mask there on Boulware. Early in that play.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense, number 10. Penalties have positions. Automatic first down.
It's the second personal foul on Clemson on this drive, and Boulware got his hand up trying to make the tackle. But how about the toughness of Elijah Hood? Running right through the tackle from Boulware and a couple other Clemson defenders, kind of setting the tone here early for the Tar Heels in this offense.
This is a 55-yard drive, and most of it has been in penalties.
But Elijah Hood is the best tailback in the country you've never heard of if you're outside of the ACC region. He is a physical back, over 1,000 yards, and exactly what this offense needs to complement their spread attack.
About 6.7 yards per carry from Hood. We'll also see TJ Logan, a speedy back, rotating as well.
Now, you always hear those terms thunder and lightning, and in this case it's very true.
Snap infraction against the offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And he just moved the football there. Umpire all over that. Sees it, makes the right call. You know, that thunder and lightning. Hood is powerful but does have some speed. But TJ Logan, as we saw last week, 6 carries and 100 yards against the Wolfpack. He's explosive when he comes in, number 8.
Hood met immediately and slammed down hard by DJ Reader in a very tough Clemson front. This is a #1 team that had to replace all 9 linemen, offense and defense this year. That might be the first team in history that's done that.
Unbelievable.
It'd be #1?
Yeah, exactly. You do not see that, ever.
Second and goal, ball back on the 12. Williams looking into the end zone and threw it too high. Kendrick Singleton, the senior tight end, was covered by Carter, but you can tell that Marquise is pumped up.
And he also got some pressure, and it forced him to throw the ball without coming through with his technique. You know, he talked about Peyton Manning as a guy. He went to the Manning camp. He works on his fundamentals, but there, because of the pass rush from Clemson, even off the play action fake, he wasn't able to come through, and that's why the ball sailed on him.
So now one of those red zone situations so important. Third and goal. Williams, pressure, spins away, spins again, delivers into the end zone. No, it bounced He did well to get the ball off. Brandon Fritts was the tight end in the area, but it's 4th down.
Yeah, they kind of walk around. They don't show where they're coming from. By the way, this is the best 3rd down defense in the country, the Clemson Tigers. And because he kept that play alive, Fritts was open in the back of the end zone. The defense lost him. They had their eyes on the quarterback scrambling, and Clemson's defense catches a break because Williams unable to locate him and put enough on the ball.
Nick Weiler, the long-haired kicker, very reliable inside 40, 14 of 15. A real comeback story. He had a miserable year a year ago, booed by Carolina fans when they made 6 field goals. Total turnaround, his 19th of the year, and the Tar Heels jump on top in Charlotte. Heather Cox, yeoman duties, emceeing the ACC Awards presentation last night, where Clemson cleaned up. Dabo Swinney, Coach of the Year. Deshaun Watson was the preseason Player of the Year and the ACC Player of the Year, the first one to do the double since Matt Ryan back in 07.
Wow.
Well deserving.
Oh, very well deserving, and lived up to all the expectations. Obviously, quarterbacking the #1 team in the country, dealing with that pressure incredibly well. That's why I said he reminds me of Marcus Mariota, the pressure and how he just remains so calm and poised throughout it.
Weiler pumped up after his field goal, drives it deep into the end zone as we check out the Chick-fil-A impact players.
Yeah, for Clemson's offense, again, because of the style of defense you'll see from Carolina, they got to be able to run the ball with Wayne Gallman and Deshaun Watson. And then you're going to try to see the ball thrown downfield vertically. We saw Deion Kane. They took a shot earlier. They'll continue to look for those opportunities. Donnie Miles has already been involved in run support, very aggressive. And MJ Stewart, I wish we got these in before the game started. MJ Stewart, number 6, you saw him involved on that quick pass. He got off of a couple blocks. He's their best defensive back. He's got to have a big night tonight as well.
Clemson moved it 45 yards their first possession before missing the field goal. And now Watson tries to dart up the middle but can't escape. No gain. They're very aware of the quarterback runs. It's been a bigger and bigger part of the offense late in the season.
But if that front 4 and those 2 linebackers who are dedicated to stopping the run tonight have success like that, that's going to make it very tough, because Clemson has to be able to run the ball against 4 down linemen and just 2 linebackers.
2nd down throw. Again, it's a short one, a complete to Artavis Scott, the top receiver, his 78th catch, but it's going to be 3rd down.
Another 3rd down here for Clemson, and it's really, really impressed. You have an explosive offense, and you have a defense that here early in this game doing a very good job of holding the point at the line of scrimmage, where I would feel coming in there's an advantage for Clemson. But here early, you see Jones and Thomason and the rest of that group up front holding their own and allowing the back end to be able to defend the pass.
2 tight end look to the left. Gallman hammers ahead and just does get the 1st down across the 35.
That was a zone read that they decided to hand off. Watson very easily could have kept that football. His read that time came down on Gallman, made it a little bit tougher for him to fight for the yards. But when in doubt, you'll see quarterbacks in those situations trust the running back to be able to pick up the yards.
Double stack receivers on both sides of the formation. And a handoff straight ahead. Not much there for Gallman. Shaquille Rashad, the senior linebacker, who's had a terrific year, made the tackle.
And I thought Rashad did a nice job of waiting. See him coming down then late, and at the last second by coming down, and because he hesitated and held on to his spot until the snap of the football, I think he was able to catch Deshaun Watson off guard a bit and allowed him to collapse down, and Gallman had nowhere to go. Great play there by the senior.
He's the most improved guy, the scouts say. He's made himself a draft prospect by having a fine senior season. Watson on 2nd and 9. Again, a short completion, and Peak makes the catch along across the 45. It will be just enough for a 1st down. That's Jordan Leggett, the tight end.
And that's the one area that Rashad gets challenged because of his size. You know, he last year played in a very different defense, a 4-2-5, and would rush the quarterback. You put him out in space, and at 6'2", 235, it's a little bit tougher. That's a matchup that Leggett can win.
Deshaun 5 of 6, but no long completions. We'll take another downfield shot, jump ball. Scott's got it. against Malik Simmons, and that is the first big play for the Tigers.
Very few quarterbacks from the right hash will attack the field like this. Artavis Scott gets downfield. Because Simmons was beaten so badly at the beginning of the route, it forced him to come back, and he lost the football.
Playing at warp speed, but Gallman is hitting the backfield as Rashad came flying in.
Well, Artavis Scott, who's been playing through some injuries, got behind Simmons, and the ball was underthrown. How many times do we see on our broadcast alone when the ball gets underthrown on the deep ball, the receiver's got his head back and he sees it, he's fighting to get back to the ball, and Simmons, because he was beaten at the line of scrimmage, has no idea where the football is, and that time that was a great adjustment by Artavis Scott to set up this scoring opportunity.
But a big tackle for loss on first down by Rashad. Backs him up 2nd and 15. Watson flips it short. Gallman walks in. When Gallman caught it, you didn't think he was headed for the end zone, but he just kept creating space, and there was no one in front of him.
Well, there was man-to-man coverage underneath. I just talked about, and you talked about Rashad and how much he's improved, and then Leggett made a catch, and I said the one area that he can get into trouble is in coverage. And they get a matchup with Wayne Gallman, their starting tailback, against a linebacker at about 235 pounds. He can't stay with his speed. An easy man-to-man read for Deshaun Watson and for the touchdown.
It made a change at the PAT. Leggett, who was suspended the first 3 games, a veteran kicker, will now take over because Hugel's missed 5 of them this year.
Chris, there's Scott adjusting back. What a catch to set up the opportunity. And then Watson gets Wayne Gallman. Watch him, number 9, right in the middle, cuts out, and look at Rashad trying to stay with him. Just doesn't quite have the wheels to be able to stay with Wayne Gallman. And now you start to see this Clemson offense that we're used to seeing all year.
Back to the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game. Tigers answer the Tar Heels field goal with an 8-play, 75-yard drive. Watson to Gallman for the touchdown. Carolina's second possession coming up. Leggett taking over for the PATs, also does the kicking off for Clemson. And this is T.J. Logan. Logan has some space. A dangerous looking return out across the 35. The kicker involved on the tackle. The AT&T college football rankings. Alabama winning by a couple of touchdowns. They seem pretty safe. Early field goal for Michigan State in Indianapolis, a 3-zip lead over Iowa, and the Cardinal out early on the Trojans.
Yeah, to me, the only drama left is this game, the Clemson-North Carolina game. If Clemson wins, obviously they're in. And if North Carolina wins, it becomes an interesting discussion with Carolina, Stanford if they hold on, and Ohio State.
Hood breaks free for 7. Williams looking for his first completion. He was 0 for 3, and Trubisky, the backup, had the only completed pass on their scoring drive.
Yeah, but when you talk with the coaches, especially Larry Fedora, they do talk about the physicality of Hood. And against this defense tonight, they know they're going to have one-on-one opportunities. They know they're going to have their chances to make big plays in the passing game. But it's about balance for North Carolina. They average 230 on the ground, 266 through the air, and so far they've been very patient.
Williams hesitates, takes off, but is surrounded by orange jerseys after a very short gain. It'll be 3rd down. T.J. Green, who had the penalty earlier, made the stop.
You hear a gap integrity from the coach, Brent Venables. Here's his safety that'll fill in, but the linebacker, Goodson, also does a good job. Watch the middle linebacker. He forces him to cut to the right, and boom, there's the safety coming downhill, T.J. Green. Great defense there on 2nd down.
Now again, Clemson's nation-leading 3rd down defense comes into play. Williams in the pocket, running out of time, flips it short. Hood makes the catch, but does not make first down yardage. Ryan Carter, a backup corner, came up to stop him. 4th down.
What you gotta love here is the recognition here by Carter. Right here, he's caught up. He comes off of his man. He had help there from Goodson. Comes off of it, and Brent Venables deciding to go zone allows all the defenders in pass coverage to have their eyes on the quarterback and on the check down, and that's exactly why Carter was able to come off his man and make that play out in space.
How about the acceleration of the ball carrier there? So Carolina has the fewest 3-and-outs in the FBS. Does go 3-and-out. And Joey Mangili, ugly looking punt, but they'll take it because punting has been a problem area for the Heels. It's down at the 10. Tracking the Heisman candidates, and that's a little bit of a resume builder for McCaffrey as he throws a touchdown.
Yeah, he has done so much for that team, and he's on the West Coast. Sometimes people don't see him. I hope tonight people are able to watch him and appreciate he and Deshaun Watson as they make their last argument.
Gallman again is knocked down immediately. Jeremiah Clark's a freshman, one of the tackles they rotate in.
They do a good job of rotating different people in up front, and again, they're so young. I mean, when Gene Chizik got there, he realized that the strength was the back end, the back seven, especially the secondary, but they've come a long way up front.
On 2nd and 10, Watson takes off, picks his way across the 15. This was a defense where the school that featured Lawrence Taylor, and Dre Bly, and Greg Ellis and Peppers, they were humiliated last year, giving more than 500 points.
39 points a game, almost 500 yards a game. And that's why Larry Fedora went out and tried to find, they're the numbers. Look at the difference from 14 to 15. Probably the most improved defense in the country.
Saw Jeff Schottmer, the long-haired linebacker there, one of the veterans. Incomplete. Tried to get the ball to Jermon Hopper, but it's the Tar Heels defense that forces a 3-and-out.
I couldn't see if Stewart got a hand on that or not, or if Hopper just dropped the football rolling right to you. You'll see Stewart extend himself, and I think Hopper may have just dropped the football. That would have been a first down, and Hopper's really been coming on the last few weeks. In fact, 15 receptions in the last 4 games. He's had some opportunities with Ray McLeod down with an injury.
Andy Teasdall to punt Kirk, and there's Ryan Switzer, who has 7 career punt returns for touchdowns. This is a part of the team that Fedora, as there's a flag down, Fedora coaches the punt return.
Ball start, offense, number 6, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
He takes responsibility for this unit, and this group of guys badly wants this guy to get one more touchdown and get a piece of that record.
It's so funny that Wes Welker, 8, is sitting there along with Perkins. He reminds you so much of Welker with his change of direction and acceleration that he has.
Teasdall with a high kick. Switzer really doesn't like to fair catch the ball. Was surrounded. Did he retain possession? Yeah, Carolina's going to keep the ball, but this is not a guy that's out there to fair catch.
Now, one of the real leaders of this team. He's undersized. He's out of West Virginia, but these last few years he has made so many plays, and that ball went right through his hands. But he's very fortunate to use every aspect of his body to secure that.
Yes, he did. And the Heels now will have great field position at the Tigers' 46-yard line.
Both defenses playing a little bit better than at least I anticipated. I thought there was a chance for these two quarterbacks and offenses to really put points up.
Williams chased immediately. Stays alive and flips it to a wide-open TJ Logan. The running back has a block, has space, has a touchdown. Yards, his first touchdown reception of the season.
Well, they played man-to-man. They brought the blitz. The blitz came from the right. The safety that time, TJ Green, but he missed him. How about Marquise Williams buying time with his feet, and nobody accounted for TJ Logan coming out of the backfield. He got lost. They thought he was in to block. Nobody picked him up, Chris.
It's a gimmick play as the punter. They go for 2 on the rollout and don't get it. Mangili is the punter and the holder on the PATs, and Fedora loves the trickery on the special teams plays. That one didn't work.
No, you see the blitz off to our left, the quarterback's right. He makes him miss, buys time, and then recognizes they get man-to-man, but nobody picked up Logan. The middle linebacker, B.J. Goodson, number 44, should have, but he did not account for him. It looked like Logan was just in the block. And how about the recognition there by the senior? he wasn't even in the play, wasn't even in his route recognition. He comes off, is able to recognize him because he buys enough time that he's all alone. And we all know with TJ Logan, you get him out in the open field, he's going to be able to take it all the way to the end zone.
Then they tried this little piece of trickery here, and Mangili is not a career passer. Tankersley made a really nice play to break it up, but the deception doesn't work, so it's a 2-point lead.
Just a guy that plays hard, and you just saw there is unselfish, picks up that big block, and just has a really good attitude. You can see the emotions that he has down there. He wants to win this game.
C.J. Fuller. Some hard hits. Gets out across the 20-yard line. Well, Sunday, as you know, is Selection Day. The final college football playoff rankings will be revealed live. I suppose you'd say that if Clemson wins, there won't be a whole lot of suspense. Not true if Carolina wins. Noon on ESPN and also streaming live on the Watch ESPN app. Rankings coming in, of course. Alabama 2-touchdown win over Florida in Atlanta. Oklahoma idle today. Michigan State and Iowa playing right now. So it's the Tigers, and Gallman knocked down. Good job by the offenses answering the opponent's scores in this first quarter.
Yeah, and these defensive backs have come to play tonight for North Carolina. They've been challenged all week. It was a good effort that time. Saw Tyler Powell, the sophomore, 95, get involved, but it's also Des Lawrence. Just a great attitude coming up, run support, not just covering these talented receivers, but coming up and run support as well.
Watson's pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. M.J. Stewart came on the blitz and got it.
Another, we just talked about the defensive backs. Lawrence and Stewart, Simmons, Donnie Miles. This time, as you said, Chris, Stewart, who's their best cover guy, they have him in over the slot. Timed up that blitz perfectly, got a hand up, knocked that down.
Watson needs 9 on 3rd down. Beats the pressure, but overthrows Hunter Renfrow. Stewart in coverage again, and the Tigers again forced to punt.
And 3rd down, Deshaun Watson has as much confidence in the freshman Renfrow as any receiver. This is ball thrown very, very early by Deshaun Watson, anticipating, feeling the timing with the freshman, but just goes a little bit higher and a little further than he expected. And you could say, I don't know if he's frustrated with himself or the depth of the route by Renfrow.
So after a fast start for Watson, 3 straight incompletions, and here's Teasdall again, and another chance perhaps for Switzer. This is a higher, deeper punt, backs him up at the 31. Switzer has room and is chased down from behind as he was trying to pick his way. The ball came out, but no fumble. TJ Green tracked him down, but you can see how dangerous this guy has been since his freshman year.
Wow, they do such a good job being committed to this. Watch him follow 13. Hollins, the best wide receiver maybe on this team. Eventually, Green chases him down, but they just have such confidence in not just Switzer, but their scheme. Look at Hollins. He's untouched. He's leading the way down. He picks up a couple great blocks, and it's the speed of TJ Green that prevents that from going all the way to the house.
Again, terrific field position for the Heels. Up by 2, taken over at the +40. 2 back look with Hood and Logan flanking Williams. And the quarterback slips down, and Shaq Lawson is right there to secure him.
I know Cam Newton plays here, but you notice, you look at this field, the inside of the field has a different turf than the outside of the field. And I don't know what kind of weather and issues they've had here over the last few weeks, but you can see there's a different line here, different turf on the inside versus what's out here. And that time on the inside is where he lost his footing.
Yeah, it's cut real short, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's an overthrow there. Williams trying to get the ball, but that time they were all over Logan.
And this defense is definitely athletic enough to trust their corners on islands. You know, we're going to see Shaq Lawson and Kevin Dodd, when they get to third down, dial up the pressure. They don't always have to blitz. 90 on one side, 98 on the other. Together, they have 15.5 sacks, 34 tackles for a loss, have tremendous speed to be able to get after the quarterback.
Third and 13. And a timeout called by Fedora. So the Tar Heels will talk about this. 14 seconds to play in the quarter, and the underdogs up by 2. Cibo Fedora has cooked up here on third and 13 against a very salty third down defense.
And watch Clemson's defensive line. See, it looks like they have 3 down linemen in now. And movement up front for Carolina.
False start, offense, number 78, 5-yard penalty.
Now, the reason he is so frustrated, other than the obvious, the penalty, you're only helping Clemson. Clemson doesn't need a lot of help. You're looking at the best defense in college football over the last 2 years on third down. They know how to mix up their looks. They know how to get pressure without always having to blitz, because they've had so many great defensive linemen. Last year, Beasley and Crawford and Grady Jarrett. Now this year with what Lawson and Reeder and Dodd can do, they get after the quarterback and they don't have to play a ton of man-to-man.
It's uncharacteristic of Landon Turner, one of the rocks of that offensive line. Makes it third and 18. Williams pressured again, trying to escape, and is going to be knocked down hard. B.J. Goodson and Shaq Lawson determined to get after the quarterback. That'll be the final play of the quarter as the Tigers defense makes a stand.
That's exactly right, Chris. B.J. Goodson with the play there to contain Williams, not let him get outside to buy more time.
Tigers have rarely trailed all season, less than 48 minutes, but they are behind by 2 after quarter number 1. Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game, part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. Kirk, what do you think the Clemson crowd ratio in this place is? About, you say
65-35?
70-30?
Yeah. A lot of
sellout for a couple of weeks. Mangili collects the high snap and gets a high boot away, and it'll bounce dead inside the 5-yard line. So Mangili does his job, coverage team all over it, and once again Clemson's going to have tough field position as they try to stretch the winning streak to 16. They've beaten 2 10-win teams, the Fighting Irish and the Seminoles, about a month apart, both of them at home. Just one step away from jumping into that Final Four, they presume as the top seed, but getting a tough battle so far from the Tar Heels, and now backed up.
I really think they've got to get back to their running game. They felt very confident with their offensive line against Carolina's defensive front that they could run the ball.
Gallman hasn't had a lot of success, and now they try Zach Brooks, the running back who's cut his hair this week. He used to have the hair.
I saw that downstairs. But Jeremiah Clark, you talked about him as a freshman. They're rotating bodies up front with Jones and Thomason and Clark and others. But he has been involved in 49 blue the last couple times that Clemson's had the ball. See him with his long sleeves there, right over the nose guard, right over the center. Guillermo, he is really causing problems against the run game of Clemson.
It's only got a yard. Watson pulls it, rolls out, and fires incomplete. That was just off the hands of Trevion Thompson. So a couple of drops early for the Tigers.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic. That's another drop, another well-thrown ball. Remember, Thompson's one who came up with that great catch last week on that big 3rd and 9 late in that game to keep a drive alive before Watson scored. That time right through his hands. Ball could not have been thrown any better by Deshaun Watson. I like how they rolled him outside and away from some of that pressure that he's been receiving.
Brooks is the back. Low snap. Watson scrambling, has a lot of room. Deshaun Watson shows the acceleration and scampers for a first down. He lost track of the quarterback.
Yeah, they sure did. The linebacker that time, Collins, 23. Boy, he's lucky to hold on to this. This affects the quarterback's rhythm. What he's trying to do to read. Luckily, he has the speed to be able to make a defense pay for it. But that time, Collins, the middle linebacker, started to turn his back to the quarterback on 3rd down. Made it very easy for Watson to pick it up.
Completion in the slant. They've really been working those short underneath routes. That's Hunter Renfro, the former walk-on freshman slot receiver.
And Chris, it's because of the defense and the way they're backing up. They're bailing and forcing Clemson to do one of two things: either run the ball or throw those short to intermediate throws.
Look who's down, Kirk. That's MJ Stewart. We've talked about him a lot. Their best defensive back is being looked at by the trainers. We will take a timeout. Tar Heels up early second. MJ Stewart did walk off, but he stayed down on the field quite a while as the trainers look at him, and that could be a key absence. Watch his head and neck area involved in the tackle against Renfro.
Yeah, that did not look good, but he did walk off. You see a true freshman, Mike Hughes, now in the game for him.
Watson has a convoy of blockers into the secondary, into Carolina territory, sliding down at the 44.
Watch him follow the right guard. Crowder's coming around. Also the running back, Wayne Gallman. Crowder's nobody to block. Look at the big fella, 20 yards downfield. Finally, he's able to get a little bit of Donnie Miles, but there's the acceleration and the speed. Such a different look from Watson the second half of the season with that healthy knee and the speed that he has.
33-yard run. Deshaun rolls away from the pressure and bounces the ball incomplete.
And right now with Stewart out of the game, mentioned Mike Hughes goes in to the corner spot to the outside, but when they go nickel, we've been seeing Stewart move to the inside, and so now you have a new guy in Hughes playing a new position, but also 11 now. Simmons goes from playing that spot, the corner, now into the nickel. So you lose one guy, but you affect two players in that secondary. That's how much Stewart means to this defense.
With Sam Smiley, the senior safety out, they're already shorthanded. He was a key loss for the Tar Heels in this game. Watson airmails a ball way over Scott's head, and he is slow to get up as Hughes, the freshman, was in there defending.
And the blitz that time, they didn't get the sack, but they pushed Wayne Gallman right back into him. You'll see Rashad coming right here and pushes him right into the face of Deshaun Watson. That is what affected the accuracy. Watch him get right into the face right there, unable to follow through. That was a great blitz that time by Rashad. Shows you the power that he has by running over Wayne Gallman.
3rd and 10.
And they come again with the two outside linebackers coming on the outside.
Tigers pick it up. Watson delivers, but it's short of first down yardage. Ray McLeod, the true freshman who's been out of the line and missed a few games, so eager to get it back to make an impact play, but he couldn't get away. 4th down.
Chris, I thought it was a blitz. They're showing it, and then they drop. They did the same thing on the other side with Rashad, and I think it affected what the offense expected. They were thinking blitz. They ran short routes to get the ball out of the hands quick by Watson, and it made it easier that time for the defense to stop them short of the first down. Good job of disguising and bailing.
They're going. They didn't go for a 4th and 3 early on. Missed the field goal short. Now 4th and 4, they do go for it, and we're told MJ Stewart is back in the game for the Heels. They bring pressure again. Watson, complete. First down to the 31. That's Kane, the freshman.
And they brought in middle linebacker blitz, Andre Smith. It's a risk. I understand you want to bring pressure, but by picking it up, look at how it opens up the lane right here for Deshaun Watson. See, 56, he comes in late, and look how open that is. Jones almost got up to knock that football down, but well executed by the Tigers.
They got 8 on 4th and 4. Now they flip it to McLeod, who spins back into a big hit.
He sure did.
DeJuan Drennan, the defensive end, there to meet the freshman.
Schottmer contained it, turned him back in, and with Drennan definitely with the big hit. This defense is not getting beat to the corner. Doing a really good job with the defensive ends and the corners, not allowing the speed of Clemson to get to the edge.
Watson again takes off, shows some strength, breaks a tackle, darts down for a first down inside the 20 before Stewart stopped him. The whole skill set on display tonight for number 4 already.
Yeah, you're right. You know about his speed when he gets out in the open field. And he's so slender. I think that's maybe the biggest difference that I've seen from him last year as a true freshman to this year. He's much stronger than he was a year ago when he runs the football.
Watson's got it. Loops it into the end zone. Kane made a diving attempt, could not come up with it. And the flag is down.
Carolina held him. Kane's trying a little inside and outside move. And we just talked about Simmons.
Holding.
Simmons had to grab onto him.
Number 11, 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Little double move, works to the, he's at the top of the screen, works to the inside, little slant and go. Simmons was beaten on the play and just trying to get away with grabbing onto the jersey to catch back up to him. The officials all over it. Great call right in front of him.
Probably saved the touchdown, don't you think?
Probably did.
Kane was going to be open.
Absolutely.
I think if he hadn't been grabbed.
And with the accuracy of Watson, that's probably a gimme. That's a touchdown. It's the only thing Simmons could do.
So first and goal.
Quarterback run game's a threat here.
That's been the pattern when they motion an empty backfield. It may be predictable, but it's tough to stop as Watson walks in. And Clemson reclaims the lead. You saw it, everybody sees it, but how do you stop it?
You have to follow Wayne Gallman to the outside with the motion. But when you follow him out, it clears this huge opening, and then they blitz the linebacker. There's just nobody left. See, the linebacker comes. It's picked up nicely there by Hyatt, the true freshman left tackle. But when they motion and they go empty, it makes the middle linebacker have to follow the running back out and opens it up for a very athletic Deshaun Watson.
10th rushing touchdown of the year for Watson. He's thrown his 28th touchdown pass earlier, and Leggett boots it through. 14-9 Clemson, a 96-yard touchdown drive. He's now behind here in Charlotte. Get a kick out of him. How many coats of paint on those horns do you think that is?
I don't know. He looks like, how much longer is this game taking?
He's just taking a rest. Carolina's about to get the ball back, and he'll have a little snack, and he'll get back on his feet.
Chewing a little of that grass, Les Miles style, having a little fun.
You like a quarterback that can throw for 3,200 plus and is now rushed for more than 800 yards. Watson had 60 yards rushing in that touchdown drive. And Mike Hughes will take a knee as we go to the Bear. Chris Felica for today's Aflac trivia question, Mr. Felica.
All right, gentlemen.
Test us.
Oh, you're going to get tested tonight. Don't worry. When was the last time the North Carolina football team finished the year ranked higher than the basketball team? And who was the Tar Heels quarterback that year?
Was it one or two quarterbacks?
It was one quarterback.
Wasn't Oscar Davenport and Kildorf?
It was not Oscar Davenport and Kildorf.
You know what that kills me is the finish part of that, Kirk, because I know the answer. If you take out the season-ending part, right now they're ranked higher in football than basketball for the first time since '96. But finishing the year is the key part of the question.
What do you have for us?
You've got to go all the way back to 1949, 1950 to answer that trivia question.
Pre-Dean Smith.
I thought you might get the quarterback. Choo-Choo Justice, who was second in the Heisman Trophy that year.
He did, and this will get a statue for Choo-Choo outside Kenan Stadium.
Felica and I were tighter than that. He goes back to 1949 on him.
But right now in the AP poll, football ranked higher than basketball.
Yeah.
Incompletion on first down, and Hood nowhere to run. Slammed hard inside. Bulware joined by Yergin. It's third down.
Yeah, that defense that time getting very, very physical in the pit here. You see Watkins as well, 94. DJ Reader, Kevin Dodd, who's improved as much as any of these defenders. And here's, of course, big number 10, Ben Bulware, one of the better blitzers, cleaning it up at the end. Here comes third down.
Bulware does enjoy hitting people, doesn't he?
Sure does. Remember, the reason Clemson's the best in the country on third down is they mix up their looks, constantly disguising and showing pressure.
Marquise pressured again, flips it, and poorly thrown ball just bounced it for Singleton. Only 2 completions for Williams tonight, knocked down by Bulware and company, and it's fourth down.
Boy, great job again. You could see the hesitation. That's their goal. I don't care what quarterback they go up against. The hesitation in the pocket from the quarterback. He hitches, he looks left. He hitches, he looks to the middle. Hitch, he looks to the right. He has nowhere to go with the ball, and it's because they show him one look before the snap. They run to another look, and they confuse him and the receivers. Well done again.
Tar Heels have not been very good in punt coverage, but Clemson doesn't do much at all with the return game. Lots of fair catches. Scott makes one at the 30, and Watson and the Tigers go back to work from there.
Chris, let's take a look at today's AT&T strong performance and go back to that last drive. This is a big play. Their first series here, the first sequence of plays. It was 3rd and 9. Recognizes it, picks up the first down. Here he is again running the football. He ran the ball 4 times for 60 yards and a touchdown. You see Crowder down there helping him out. That was the big one that really set him up. The speed and the power that time on display for Deshaun Watson and running the football. You and I talked about that. They got to get back to running the ball. It's exactly what they did on their last drive.
Yeah, the pass game execution has sputtered a bit in recent possessions. Watson pulls it out, has a block, and slides down after a nice first down gain. Tigers wanted a flag, and one does come in as Drennan hit him.
And Drennan came in late. Watson.
Play. Personal foul. Defense, number 17. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Watson slid, and then he gets hit by 17, Drennan. He'll come in right at the top of the screen. It wasn't necessarily, if you're a Carolina fan, you're at home saying, what is that? It was a tap. It was the intent. He'd already slid, he was down, and he came in well after he was already down, made contact.
Is this the Herb Street play? I saw your face on the play
we're
card
going deep,
Tigers.
We're going deep.
Watson throws it near side, but miscommunication with Scott, who was going deep, but the ball didn't. Heather?
Chris, when the offense came off the field after that last touchdown, Davos, when he came and got everyone on their feet, gathered them into a tight huddle, got as animated as I've seen him this entire game. He yelled, it's not about who, it's about how. If we can beat anyone if we are us. He said, we started out tight, now we're starting to relax. Let's have some fun and play our game. We'll see if that momentum continues.
All right, Heather, thank you. Watson had nowhere to go. Brooks was well covered. He just fired it into the ground, and Jesse Rogers was pressuring him.
Again, the defensive line playing well. Playing well. That time they sniffed out the screen. And you're seeing a bunch of guys play well up front. Jones and Thomas, and again, Clark. That play didn't have a chance at all with Zach Brooks.
They give up a fair number of yards, but the Tar Heels know how to bow up. Well, their backs are against the wall.
Remember, the last time they blitzed him, they turned their back to him, and he was able to scramble on a 3rd and long.
Oh! Mishap on the snap. Watson has to dive in there. And they retain possession, but that blows things up, and it's 4th down.
Well, Guillermo snapped the ball. Deshaun Watson, he made a little bit of a movement with his left leg. Watched a little bit of a movement. I got to go back a little bit earlier. He makes a little movement. Guillermo, the center, looked back, and I think he thought the little movement was asking for the snap.
They'll have a conversation. Guillermo is the guy that goes up to Watson and says, Deshaun, I love you. I love you, man. And he'll say it about 30 times a game. It's just his way of kind of reinforcing that. So they'll no doubt have a little chat.
Well, he's helped change the culture of the offensive line at Clemson.
Teasdall, and this time reluctantly, Switzer will make the fair catch at the 15-yard line. Good stop by the Tar Heel defense there.
And I think we may get a peek at this to Guillermo, what he looked at. Watch the leg. That little movement right there, he thought was him asking for the snap. So a little mix-up, little poor communication, and ends up costing Clemson.
During Jimmy V week, we want to join in sending strength and support to James Conner. He was the ACC Player of the Year last year. The Pitt running back, he was out with a knee injury. Stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma. Look at the quote, urging cancer patients around the world to draw strength from each other to beat cancer. We certainly wish James well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Logan is the back. Marquise Williams trying to get himself going, Kirk. It's been a rough start. Only 2 completions. Logan nowhere to go. Swarmed and dropped for a loss by big Shaq Lawson, the Nagurski and Lombardi finalist.
Boy, he is about as good as you're going to see on the edge of a defense. Combination of power and speed. Watch him just fight through and just shed Spain rather, the left tackle. Just threw him to the side and able to get into that backfield like he's done so much this year.
Williams takes off. Weaves his way, but he'll be brought down from behind by TJ Green. Well, like any offense, you don't want to go behind the 6 on first down against this group.
No, not at all. And I think right now the battle is being lost up front, and it's putting a lot of pressure on Williams. You know, we're halfway through the second quarter. Marquise Williams has completed 2 passes. You're talking about an offense in the last 3 games that's had 547 yards in the last 4 games. In the last 3, 53 points a game.
Other than Logan's touchdown catch, they got 44 net yards in this half. They need 12. That time, good protection, but it's incomplete. Trying to get the ball to Bug Howard, but Clemson forcing yet another 3-and-out.
You know, and Marquise Williams, as talented as he is, this is the most pressure that he's felt. And third downs are very, very challenging against Clemson. You can see they didn't sack him, but they affected him enough that affected his rhythm in the pocket, where he's not settling into the pocket and making reads and feeling confident with his ability to throw. He had an open receiver that time. He just missed it.
Again, fewest 3-and-outs in FBS all season, but they've had 3 straight against by far the best defense they faced. That punt not fielded takes a great roll for Carolina all the way down to the 35-yard line. Talked about Jimmy V Week. You can help us beat cancer. Log on to jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V to donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. 51-yard punt. So 6:58 until halftime as Watson tries to add to this lead.
It's funny how college football goes. You come in, you think you're going to see these two offenses really go out and put points up. And who would think that we'd be midway through the second quarter and the Carolina defense is being asked again to make plays, keep them in this game, keep the belief that they can find a way to win.
Another low snap that Watson picks up and makes a nice gain, but he and Guillermo are struggling with their communication and execution.
Yeah, we've seen the bad snap on the last series, another snap that was down low that Watson had to be kind of a short stop to go down and be athletic enough. That was a low snap, but you could see once he picks that up, he's got linemen polling, and they outnumbered him on the edge there to be able to pick up a lot of yards.
It's a second team All-ACC center, and now a false start.
False start, offense, number 8, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's Deion Kane, the receiver. All of these Clemson linemen made one of the All-ACC teams, first, second, or third. So a solid group up there.
And you're talking about 5 new offensive linemen. Once Norton went down with an injury at center and Guillermo stepped in for him, you have a true freshman at the left tackle spot in Hyatt. Joe Gore, first-time starter on the right side. And they say that room, the chemistry and the cohesiveness of that room has really been huge for this team.
Watson still has it. And still has the speed as he comes all the way across the near side, across the 40. Eric McLean, the guard, he's the first team All-ACC guy. Well, they're all bearded now. They clean shaven, some of them for this photo, but now they're all rocking the beards.
And I think Eric McLean, I don't know what he wants to get into when he's done, but if he wants to get into broadcasting, he just has that feel that he's very, very...
I think you should aim higher.
Inquisitive. If he wants to come down here to the JV and be a broadcaster, I think he has a future in that. That's my call.
He could run for office or do anything. They need 5 on third down.
Another.
Wow.
I think Wayne Gallman that time.
Offense, number 9, 5-yard penalty, third down.
It's the skill players, though, Kirk, not the O-line.
Remember, they picked up 8 yards on that first play on the bad snap. It was 2nd and 2. Now they're way back after some mistakes. This is an offense, by the way, that's had 10 turnovers in the last 3 weeks. So they've not been executing the way Dabo Swinney, Jeff Scott, and Tony Elliott, the co-offensive coordinators, would like to see.
In the pressure of a championship game, when the playoff bracket beckons, you heard Heather's report. This has not been a very Clemson-like performance so far. On 3rd and 10, Watson. Buying time, finds his receiver at the 32-yard line. It's incomplete. Just before he could come up with it, the ball hit the ground. That was Renfro. I thought he had Leggett open underneath.
Yeah, it sure looked like it. He had a couple guys open because he was able to buy so much time here. They rushed 3 and eventually bring a 4th. But right there, he's got down the left sideline. He's got a man open. Leggett over the middle late. And even Renfro was open. I want to see if that ball just slides right through there. I thought Green might have got involved in the play, but the ball just slides right through. That would have been a great catch, but good job by Watson just trying to keep that play alive.
So 2 false start penalties undermine the Clemson drive, and now there's a false start. A man took off before the punt was snapped.
False start, offense, number 15, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
A little ragged here now all of a sudden.
Dabo may cancel the pizza party tomorrow. They keep this up.
That is the pizza party that I think he invented the idea when he was talking to the Heather right after the Florida State game, and they got one plan. They say win or lose.
Win or lose.
Although I don't know if they lose, if it's going to be too festive. Now if they win,
well, he's saying that because he doesn't want to give off the impression that he's preparing a pizza party for a victory.
Here comes a fake. Teasdall thought about throwing it, pulls it down. He's not going to get near the marker. Malik Simmons stopped him. You wonder what the punter was thinking. Dabo doesn't know.
No, I mean, that is 4th down and forever. It was not called. I mean, he's frustrated. Look at him. He wants to know what in the world is he thinking. You know, he wanted to punt the ball off to his right, and I don't know if Teasdall just felt that he could make it on his own or what, but look at Dabo Swinney is fired up. Carolina again with outstanding field position.
Wow. 4th and 15. He just took off, and the blockers weren't expecting it. Williams delivers high again, and a flag comes in where the quarterback was hit. As the coach gets in the face of the punter.
They brought a lot of pressure. Nobody blocked.
Personal foul. Defense, number 90. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Nobody blocked Shaq Lawson, and he got in too high. I think that's what they are looking at. Nobody blocks the best defensive end in the ACC and one of the best in the country, so it's a breakdown up front.
But they get away with it, and 15 yards are tacked on, and all of a sudden the Heels are in the red zone. What an awful sequence for Clemson. 3 false starts, the crazy fake punt attempt, and now that personal foul.
And they did a great job, Clemson did, of getting in. Pagano also in there with Lawson, but the mistake, 1st down.
Hood trying to get the corner. Dives down near the 10 before T.J. Green stopped him. Nice gain.
Let's go back to Shaq Lawson, who got in there, and he got in up above the shoulder into the head of the quarterback. You can see they don't block him. Left hand gets up around the quarterback's face mask and head, and that's the call right there.
Hood running into heavy traffic, but spins free and dives near the pylon, marked out short. But it'll be 1st and goal for the Heels, trying to cash in an attempted fake punt to a quick 6.
Well, great balance to keep the play alive. Boy, Hood had such power, but that time showed balance as well.
Hood again, hit behind the line. Excellent penetration. Kevin Dodd and company knocked him back for about a 2-yard loss.
North Carolina going tempo here. You know, it's one thing that Larry Fedora has really preached this week and all year. They've become multiple with their tempo. Right now they're fastball.
Williams rolls out, flips to the end zone, touchdown! Bryant Switzer, and the Tar Heels take the lead. And Sweeney has another angry word with his punter. Trying to make a play, but made a terrible decision, and the Tar Heels cash in as Switzer, the junior, grabs his 5th touchdown reception. We've had 4 lead changes already.
And we've been waiting for something to kind of ignite North Carolina's explosive offense. And Marquise Williams, maybe that's exactly what they needed to get their confidence established. They were able to run Hood, and then eventually the throw by Williams to Switzer for the touchdown. But it's that balanced attack. This is where it started, where the punter, Teasdall, decides on his own 4th and long that he's going to pick up a 1st down. He's 12 yards short, so they get great field position. They run a couple times with Hood, and then it's man-to-man coverage where Switzer's able to outrun the sophomore Ryan Carter, 31, who had pretty good coverage, but the ball is well thrown out in front of Switzer, where Carter doesn't have a chance to get his hands on the football. Well thrown, the best ball of the night by Marquise Williams.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kirk, that's got to feel pretty good for him to finally get a touchdown. And then, meanwhile, Teasdall is just hoping that decision that he made isn't going to cost Clemson a conference title and a playoff bid down the line.
Imagine that. He's all by himself. Somebody needs to go tell him hey man, it's a mistake, it's made, let's move on.
He's by himself, but he's in front of some Clemson fans over there who may have an earful too.
He may not want to be over by the fan base right now.
So this is Fuller who will have a chance from the 3. He's knocked down. Excellent coverage by the Tar Heels. Mac Hollins flying down there.
I love that.
He's a 3-year special teams captain, starting receiver.
Starting receiver, one of the most explosive receivers in the ACC, and he takes more pride covering kickoffs.
Let's go to Cassidy for a quick update here.
Thanks, Chris. Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update. Big Ten Championship game. Iowa in the red zone. 3rd down pass hits George Kittle's hands, bounces off Riley Bullock's shoulder, and into the hands of Demetrius Cox for the interception in the end zone. Still 6-3 Iowa in the second quarter. Back to you.
There's a first down completion. Thank you, Cassidy. A catch made by Sharon Peak. We'll have to keep an eye on Mac Hollins. Yeah. We applaud his toughness. He's on all the special teams, but he looked like he injured the shoulder.
Yeah, 6'4", 210 pounds. You'll see him all over not only the field on offense. I don't know, the shoulder there. He came over quickly, and he had a lot of pain. But he's kickoff coverage. He's on the punt team, punt coverage, everything. Every aspect, he wants to be on the field.
Watson, downfield, overthrown. Tigers wanted a flag as Des Lawrence was defending Pete. He can't believe it.
Yeah, the ball was already by him, and the official makes the right call. A little stutter and go by Peak. Ball is by him, and then you can see the contact there by Lawrence.
I think it's hard to find a quarterback in college football, maybe even in recent years, more accurate on deep balls than Deshaun Watson, but he's been misfiring a little bit tonight, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would.
Atypical. There's a delay to Gallman on 2nd and long, and now it's going to be 3rd and about 8.
I think the biggest surprise to me tonight throughout this first half is the lack of production from Wayne Gallman. I think coming in, because Carolina's focused on not giving up the deep ball, they rely on the front. They've given up so many yards this year on the ground. They're 106th in the country on how many yards they allow per game on the ground. But Wayne Gallman so far ineffective, and they're not able to run the ball. Watson.
For Scott, again, overthrown. Simmons was running with him, but you don't usually see number 4 overthrow guys deep.
Yeah, this defense is playing out of their minds against a very talented Clemson offense. And Gene Chizik has them dialed in, and here comes the punter Teasdall again. I guarantee you will not see the pull down and run for the marker.
It doesn't matter if every Tar Heel falls down on the ground.
There's no chance.
He better kick it.
No, this ball is going to be kicked as far as humanly possible.
That's what he's out there to do. And Switzer takes a huge shot. Here comes Flags. Flying in there was TJ Green. He's going to get his 2nd personal foul. Dabo saying, was there a fair catch?
Yeah, but I think it's that helmet that we'll have to see in the replay. Did Dave Kataya up here.
He said, what's the call? Jeff Heiser heading this ACC crew. 2 flags came out immediately after Switzer got blown up.
Look, boy, it looks like it's not the fair catch call. I just wonder if it's the crown of the helmet.
Dave Kataya is our rules expert.
What we're looking at here is it may be the fact of a targeting call because he's still defenseless. So let's take a look at this replay right now.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal block in the back against the receiving team, number 6. Personal foul, targeting number 15, kicking team. Those penalties all set. The play is under further review.
So the penalties will offset, but they'll have to review whether or not Green was guilty of targeting, and that would be an ejection.
And Dave, with them being offset, if they go upstairs and review this, and it shows that in fact it was targeting, is he still ejected, even with it being offsetting penalties?
Yes, he's still gone because it's targeting. That doesn't take the ejection off, okay? And you look at the hit, this player is defenseless. You can see the helmet hit above the shoulders. I think this call's going to stand.
Can you explain to the viewer defenseless.
All right, defenseless is a punter just catching the ball, has not had his chance to regain his balance. As you can see, he doesn't have his balance back yet. He fits into one of the categories of being a defenseless player. You can see the hit right there, helmet to helmet, and I think it's going to stand.
Dave, it's hard to find a better example of what targeting is. I mean, that is inexcusable, really, from Green. Is that a tough night? I mean, so much focus on injuries to the head in football.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The penalty's offset. Player number 15 is disqualified.
And you have to legislate against hits like that. That's just inexcusable, really.
And we're focusing right now on the hit and the health of these players, which we should. But from an XO standpoint, they just lost one of their best defensive players in TJ Green. Second on the team in tackles, has been an enforcer back there with Jaron Kearse, the other safety, number 1. So that is a significant loss for Brent Venables and his Clemson Tiger defense.
Meanwhile, Switzer seems to be fine. He's up waving his arms, getting the crowd into it.
I'm going to tell you,
thankfully.
The energy in this stadium, from the time Clemson tried their punt, where the punter decided to try to run for the first down, and they turned that into points, then they get another stop and they get the ball back. There's a different energy, not just in the stadium, but from the team on the sidelines. There's a belief and some confidence right now from the Tar Heels.
Those penalties offset. The ball will be re-kicked. 4th down.
So they'll repunt it, but Luttrell off to try to rebuild a 1-11 not so mean Green program, unless Carolina would make the playoff, and then Fedora says he'll try to keep his play caller on for that. Let's see what he does in the last 2.5 minutes after the punt return, and we'll check in quickly with Tom Rinaldi.
Chris, interesting there, because the prior punt return, when Switzer called for the fair catch, he had a little bit of a heated exchange with Fedora on the sideline, who wanted to remind his punt returner to stay aggressive, don't call a fair catch unless you have to. This time he didn't. Obviously a lot of traffic around. You see the penalty that results. We'll see what happens now on this punt return.
And he's John with the bench,
Switzer's looking over to the Clemson bench. They're talking back and forth. I think he's talking to Shaq Lawson. You may want to find another guy to talk to on that sideline.
But you don't want to give this guy a second crack at returning a punt, not with those 7 career touchdowns. And this time, really no choices. He's just absolutely run over. A blocker and a coverage guy converged, and Switzer got knocked over. Ball bounced back, and the Tar Heels will take over. It's been eventful lately.
You see Mac Hollins gets blocked back into him right there. It's good to see Hollins back out on the field.
Sure is, but knocking into his own man there.
No.
And they were lucky to get the bounce after the punt hit the ground. But you're right, though. It is good to see Hollins. Maybe he had that shoulder pop back in because it looked like he was really hurting when he came off before. So 2:20 to work with. Oh, almost intercepted. He threw it right into traffic, and Carlos Watkins, the big 300-pounder, had a chance.
How about the recognition by the big fella? And you're right, the hands, 6'3" and 300 pounds. He saw this all the way in the interior there, just waiting for the ball to be thrown. That's just great preparation and scheming throughout the week, because it was a formation, certain down and distance. He was looking for that.
2-back look. Williams has good protection, throws a long throw incomplete, trying to get it to TJ Logan. So it'll be 3rd and 10, and Clemson can get the ball back and have a chance for points before halftime. The Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway is coming up. Chance to win $100,000 in tuition. We'll see who takes it home from Dr. Pepper.
Carolina 1 of 6 tonight on 3rd down. Marquise Williams continues to be out of sorts, out of rhythm. He's had a couple touchdown passes, but that's when they've had great field position. In the middle of the field, he is just, the pressure has affected him for sure up front.
Yeah, Kirk, it's an offense that converts 48% 3rd down on the season. Pressure again. Cannot escape, will be dropped for a loss. He says he was grabbed in the face mask again. Kevin Dodd combine, and there is no flag.
Well, it looked like B.J. Goodson, who was a part of a blitz. Boulware came on the blitz. Curse came on the blitz. I mean, they were coming from all over the place. You'll see right here is Goodson. He comes. Boulware comes. Curse, the safety's up. He's going to come as well. Watch 44 right in the middle. You'll see him right here. Watch him grab a hold of Williams. And that look right there, it looked like he got his shoulder pad, maybe the side of his helmet, but that's why Williams got frustrated. Watch 44. Right there, he gets his hand. He grazed the face mask. He never really grabbed a hold of it. You have to grab a hold of it for it to be a face mask.
So Clemson spent a timeout. They've got 2 more to work with, and 2:02 before halftime. Marquise perhaps will take the lead to the locker room, but this is not what he envisioned coming back to his hometown for the second time this season.
You're right. He's 3 of 12 for 50 yards. He has the 2 touchdowns, but give credit to Clemson because they're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. They're really, really affecting him. He cannot settle in. The entire year, I've never seen him so unsure back in the pocket.
Mangili gets a line drive boot away. Scott is buried immediately at the 33-yard line. And so minute 56 for Deshaun Watson to work with. You know, over the years, we have seen in this championship weekend when teams have so much to play for, perhaps a playoff spot in this modern era, weird things happen, and teams tend to go out of character. We've seen that with Clemson, for me, in the last quarter here.
Yeah, I mean, the sloppiness on offense, some of the mistakes, the decision by the punter. I think it's given life to North Carolina. The one thing they've been able to go back to is their defense. Their defense has been playing very, very well.
And now Watson just checks it off low, and Gallman makes a catch for about 7 yards.
And tempo is something that they're obviously comfortable with, and with under less than 2 minutes now, they got a couple timeouts. There needs to be a lot of urgency from the sideline, getting the play in to Deshaun Watson, out to the rest of the team. So far, a little bit slow compared to what you'd expect to see from them.
Watson trying to get away, heads for the sideline, gets a first down at the 45.
You know, we're talking about Marquise Williams being a little bit unsettled. I think he really could say the same thing about Deshaun Watson when it comes to throwing the football. He's only thrown for 136 yards. Then he's had some drops, but I think the secondary from North Carolina and the plan that Gene Chizik's put together, I think they've done a good job of covering up the wide receivers, leaving Deshaun Watson nowhere to throw the football.
As a runner, he's got 109 yards already.
Right.
And now the downfield shot to Scott, fighting back, well defended by Simmons, and no flag.
You know, Simmons was in great position, and you saw contact, but because he had his head turned around, he's entitled to the football. So that's why you saw Simmons come up and say, where's the flag? Watch him. He does a perfect job of reading the eyes of the receiver, Scott. Now he turns, looks for the football. Now he's entitled to the ball. So Scott actually, if there's anything with interference, it would have been more on Scott and not on Simmons.
Throws beyond 25 yards this season. Watson's 50%. That's number 1 of the Power 5. Way under that tonight. There's another short throw. Gallman juggles it, does make the catch, but a very short gain, and now third down with 1:08 to go.
Yeah, remember, we're at a minute now. They're still taking their time. You've got one of the receivers, tight end, still working his way back, Leggett.
And Watson looks near side. The catch is made inside the 40-yard line, and that was Leggett, who had to huff it back to the line of scrimmage and then make the catch.
That's a big-time throw from the right hash all the way to the numbers on the left. Strong arm and great accuracy that time by Watson. Pretty good coverage.
Sweeney still saving those timeouts. And Watson delivers in traffic. McLeod makes the catch, and the freshman knocked down inside the 25.
Yeah, they are forcing him to be patient. They're taking everything away vertically and forcing him to be able to show patience, reading the coverage, and showing he find those open receivers underneath.
Clock moving after they get the stick set, and that's Renfro. Now they'll probably have to spend that second timeout.
Yep.
And 24 seconds before halftime.
They want to save that last timeout, obviously. But, yeah, and that's the adjustment that I think Deshaun Watson's having to make on the fly here in the first half. A lot of times they've had such a great opportunity to get downfield and make big plays in their pass game because people fear Deshaun Watson and Wayne Gallman from running, so they have to load up with linebackers and safeties, and they leave their corners on islands. Tonight, that's not the case. Carolina's been holding up for the most part. I know they've given up Deshaun Watson some yards on the ground, but Wayne Gallman has had a very, very quiet first half.
It's been a mistake-filled first half for the Tigers. That 47-yarder came up just short. That doesn't count, but the 3 personal fouls and the ejection, TJ Green for targeting, false starts by some skill players, not really the offensive line, and that crazy decision by Teasdall setting up the heels for the go-ahead touchdown. 2nd and 4. Watson gets it out quickly to Gallman, who gets a block. Gallman, stutter step, knocked down. No, he's not knocked down. Stretches for the goal line, showing the drive and the relentless effort. Stewart stopped him at the 1.
Well, they finally get him some room to work with, and they're going to have to go hurry to fire it. They want to save that last time out.
He doesn't clock the ball. Watson, it looked like they were signaling to spike the ball. 6-5. They're going to have to spend the final timeout. They didn't get that communicated to the quarterback, did they?
No. I think he has the option there to fire it, or if he thinks he can get in, take it and try to score. He gives the sign to try to get the defense to maybe maybe fall asleep. But you go back, they finally get Wayne Gallman out with a little bit of room to run, and you can see what he's capable of doing. They're not able to run the football with him, so they say let's throw it to him out there in space and be able to have a chance to be able to make some moves and get some yards.
We did the Florida State game when he spiked the ball in a very similar situation, end of the half. He spiked it though on 3rd down. That's caused him, or 4th down, I should say, caused him a problem. They came up empty there. Now with 6 seconds, you don't have a timeout. If you get stopped, you're going to come up empty here.
Yeah, I mean, and I think he has the option there, to, as I say, to fire it, or if he thinks he can get and sneak it with that last time out. The man who made the play there was Shaquille Rashad, the linebacker, 42.
There are some coaches, Kirk, who would just take the 3 and go to the locker room with the lead. Watson still got the ball. Flips it into the end zone for a touchdown. Sweet execution, and it is Jordan Leggett, the tight end, with his 7th touchdown reception this year. Good call, Kirk.
Yeah, and he's lined up on the inside and off the play action. What are you afraid of when you see number 4, especially with the first half that he's had? Because of his speed, right away you freeze and your eyes go to him, and you don't want to let him run the ball into the end zone. And because of the play action look and he gets to the corner, those linebackers and defensive backs were coming up to stop him from running it in, and they lost Leggett going into the corner.
They all worked out, but you can tell Dabo said, I wanted you to spike the ball there so we didn't have to burn the timeout. If that pass is incomplete, it's real close to 0-0 on the clock, by the way.
You're right about that. Here he is right here. He's going to work his way out there, but because of the action and getting on the corner, watch the secondary and the defensive back, the linebackers. Watch how they start to come up. You start to come up here and here, and they completely lose him here. It frees him up to be able to get into the corner.
So the Tigers defense got to stop, and this capped a 68-yard, 10-play drive in 1:54.
You know, that's what they needed. You know, we talked about North Carolina had the ball. Pretty good field position. They had a chance to come get the ball to start the second half. They were thinking about trying to at least get a field goal, but Clemson defense gets him off the field. Dabo Swinney's got to be excited about the way his defense has played. Keep in mind, Carolina's got 16 points, but they're used to scoring a lot of points and kind of doing what they want to do, with especially that passing game.
They asked him to kind of tone down the dabbing. You know, he kind of does that little bow thing that is popular. But that was a nice little celebration. That was the repertoire there.
When you're him and you got the game that he has, you know who plays here?
Yes, I do, Mr. Newton.
Yeah, I mean,
king of the dab. Right?
Exactly.
Kickoff takes a kangaroo hop, and that'll be it for a first half that featured 5 lead changes. Are you not entertained so far from Charlotte? Heels will get the ball to begin the second half, and Marquise Williams is going to try to get himself going.
They got to go back to the drawing board on their passing game. They got to figure out a way to be able to combine Hood with the running. More importantly, getting the ball thrown downfield. They're losing the battle up front.
Conversation between Watson and Gallman, who had a kind of a tough first half. To Tom with Coach Fedora.
Chris, thank you. Back and forth first half. You gave up the late score there. How do you regain the momentum?
Well, we just go back. We're getting the ball in the second half. We got to be consistent on offense, move down the field, and try to put points on the board.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you. Let's go to Heather.
Tom, thanks so much. Coach, after a challenge-filled first half, how do you carry the momentum of that last touchdown into the second half?
Well, first thing we got to do, we got to quit shooting ourselves in the foot. We're in third and long a bunch because we're having penalties and just, we got to get our running game going. Just a lot of mis-execution, just things that we totally are in control of. Defense is playing excellent. But my punter, I don't have an explanation. He just tried to do something on his own and put us in a bad spot, and it cost us a touchdown. But, hey, at the end of the day, we got a lead here at the half and got another whole half to play. This is I'm proud of our guys because we made a lot of mistakes. So we'll get in there, we'll clean up, see if we can get in rhythm and play a little better.
Dabo, thank you. We'll let you get to it.
Yeah, Andy Teasdall hopes his brain cramp will fade away and be forgotten. A 3-1 edge in yards, but just a 5-point lead. The Capital One halftime report is coming up. We're back in Charlotte, the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game, part of Dr. Pepper's Championship Week. Interesting first half. Dr. Pepper bringing you the statistics, and in total yards, 309 to 103, edge for Clemson. The Tiger defense forcing 5 3-and-outs. The Tar Heel offense that had the fewest. So the Tar Heels trying to end that 35-year drought. There's the ACC Championship trophy. Clemson won it back in 2011. But total dominance from the Tigers, except for those mental mistakes. Carolina's going to get the ball to start the second half. How can they get the offense going?
Yeah, I think Elijah Hood has a lot to do with that. I think one way to slow down a pass rush is being able to run the football. And if they can run the ball just enough to make the defensive line and the linebackers respect it, I think it can allow Marquise Williams to settle in. We played a half of football, and he still looks unsure. He still looks unsettled. And I think it has everything to do with the job that Brent Venables has done getting him in that form, and it's because of that defensive line and the pressure they put on him. Larry Fedora's got to find a way to get Williams to settle in to be able to throw the football.
Leggett's kickoff drives TJ Logan into the end zone. These two dynamic quarterbacks. Watson has accounted for 3 Clemson touchdowns. He's not been his usual accurate self on the deep balls. 19 of 32 in the Pacific Life game summary.
But remember, Chris, that's North Carolina's defense. That's the plan that Gene Chizik put together, not just for this game, for the entire year. He inherited a defense that struggled a year ago. Their goal is to not give up the big plays. So Clemson's tried to find other ways to move the ball. And main reason it's been Deshaun Watson running and throwing the ball underneath.
2-back look. Quarterback keeps it, cuts back, and gains more yard on that carry than the Heels had in the entire second quarter.
Yeah, and Caleb Peterson that time, the left guard, pulled around and opened it up. He actually put a nice block on the defensive end, Kevin Dodd. And that was one of the few times we've seen a runner have a chance to get to that second and third level of the Clemson defense.
At 19 on that play. Now Hood breaks free and barrels into Clemson territory. 2 quick runs, and the Heels are threatening.
Yeah, that we just talked about. What do you do to be able to try to throw the ball? You got to be able to run the ball first. Make them respect that. And remember, TJ Green is out of this football game. That is very, very important to remember. One of their leading tacklers.
Hood. As Williams, who's a terrific ball handler on that zone read. He's very deceptive at times. He's fooled defenses.
He sure does. Does a good job carrying out fakes and making good decisions with it. Again, when I say TJ Green is out, if you missed in the first half, targeting on a punt return by Ryan Switzer, he comes out. And Van Smith, as we speak, number 23, is a true freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's in the game right now. He had a missed tackle on that run by Hood a little earlier.
False start, which will make it 2nd and 11.
False start, offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It's John Heck, whose dad, Andy, coaches the Jaguars offensive lineman, former All-American at Notre Dame. 3-year starter But those things, after you get 4 yards on first down against a defense this good, can be so costly. Williams pressured again, just desperately heaves it incomplete. Switzer was close enough to not get a grounding, but it was Dodd pursuing him.
Dodd does a good job of getting over the right tackle. Watch the right tackle go down. He shows the athletic ability to get over top of him. And there's Ben Boulware, the linebacker, who they love to blitz. You know, Shaq Lawson gets most of the attention up front, but he talked to the coaches, and you watch the film. 98 Kevin Dodd is a great compliment on the other side, and probably the most improved player from a year ago up front.
Heels need 11. Again, only converting 1 third down tonight. 1 for 7. And the play clock down at 5. Tigers blitz again. Williams gets protection, delivers a strike. Catch made there by Mac Hollins, and the Heels are in the red zone.
How about the offensive line? They put enough people inside to give him time, and then finally you see Mac Hollins get some separation. The linebackers blitzed, a huge void in the defense.
Williams now on the slant. Intercepted. Stepping in front of the defensive back was Tankersley, his 5th of the season.
Ball was thrown behind Davis, allowing Tankersley to catch up to it. They brought pressure, balls tipped, got behind him, and look at Tankersley again, a guy that they picked, teams picked on him early, and now you see him making plays. That ball looked like it was tipped by Curse.
How about the hands on Tankersley?
Yeah, great adjustment to the ball. Great hand-eye coordination right there. He really took it away from Davis, who has the strongest set of hands of any of the receivers from North Carolina.
A guy who's always had speed, but he used to get burned a lot. And that red zone turnover by Williams.
Ball start, offense, number 8. Penalty is half the distance.
That's the second on game. Another unpleasant reminder of the opener. That was the problem for Marquise against South Carolina.
Let's go back to the tip. I gave Curse credit. It was actually the middle linebacker, Goodson, 44. See Curse 1 right there, but right there he just gets his index finger on that ball, and you wonder if he didn't get a finger on the ball, if it's actually thrown accurately in front of him for a touchdown to Davis. Big time play by B.J. Goodson.
Penalty really backs him up to the 1, and now Gallman hammers ahead, spins free, almost busted it. Gets across the 23. Finally, Gallman joining the party.
Watch the push by the left side. The left guard that time, Eric McLean. Watch the double team. The push, and finally, they felt they had to control the line of scrimmage against this style of defense and run the ball, and that time they did.
This is Watson on a short gain as Gallman gained more on that carry than he had the entire evening.
I'm sure when Dabo Swinney and his offensive staff got in there in the locker room and they talked to their team, they went back to their feelings in the pregame. Guys, they're going to try to sit back and not give up the big play through the pass. We have got to be able to win the line of scrimmage and run Wayne Gallman and Deshaun Watson running the football.
This time he throws it, and Peak makes the catch and backpedals out of bounds with first down yardage at the 35.
Well, I thought Rashad might get underneath this throw, 42. He sinks in coverage, almost gets underneath that. He anticipated it well, just didn't quite have the quickness to get out there and be able to knock that ball away.
As Watson typically does, Kirk really spreading the ball around at various targets. Two-back look. Watson cannot escape. He ran right into number 45, Mikey Bart, the junior defensive end. Heather?
Chris, I was standing outside the Clemson locker room as they were waiting to take the field. You could hear players yelling, "No regrets." Then Dabo said, "Guys, it's on us. It's drops, it's penalties, clean it up." Now remember, their phrase all season, dream the dream, 15 for 15. They want to print 15 tickets, but they have to earn them after 12.
Yeah, this is game number 13. Dabo's good with the catchphrases and the mottos and the motivational techniques. He's gifted in that department.
No doubt about it. Justin Thomas, and the defensive tackle, a senior that Gene Chizik said when he inherited the defense, he had to reestablish some confidence, and he challenged different players. In 98, Thomason was one of the guys that he really challenged. That time, boy, he stepped up and shedded his block on Crowder, made a heck of a play.
Needs 7 on 3rd down. Watson rolls out, delivers a strike for first down yardage there. Scott got it in heavy traffic as Watson shows his accuracy.
Yeah, he had to squeeze that into a pretty tight window. We talked about M.J. Stewart, number 6. He does a great job of coming back and almost has a chance to be able to knock that ball away. See the middle linebacker, Schottmer, also there.
They flip it back a screen. Gallman, or Kane, I should say, in traffic, darted free, gets across midfield.
Deshaun Watson in a little bit of a groove right now with his accuracy. That's the 8th straight pass he has completed.
And Kane, who's been on a tear, really hasn't been able to bust free for a big play yet.
They tried to hit him early on the first series for a long one, but it was good coverage.
Again, this is the area where Clemson typically will take a downfield shot when they get to midfield. They flip it short, breaking free, peak, Sutter steps out of bounds. They move the sticks again, down inside the 40.
And Donnie Miles missed a tackle. He had man-to-man coverage on Peak, and if he makes the play, it's 3rd and 5. Missed tackle. Peak shows you how physical he can be. He's had a great year as a blocker, and he's coming on lately as a receiver. Sheds Miles and picks up the first.
It's a first down throw again. A trick play. They pitch it to Gallman, who's got the corner. Gallman tight roping, knocked out at the 10. Dominique Green made the play, but the little pitch and lateral.
When I see that play, I think of Nat Moore and Tony Nathan with the Miami Dolphins against the Chargers in that epic game in the NFL. That's the exact same play. The timing was good. He gets around Simmons. And again, they're doing a better job of getting him the ball in the passing game.
Yeah, they get it on the edge to Scott, again, who made that little pitch out to Gallman. He's down to the 10, and Clemson very quickly trying to stretch their lead here in the 3rd quarter.
I really love what Tony Elliott has done. One of his best playmakers is Wayne Gallman, and they've not been able to run the football as effectively as they had hoped tonight. So he's got 5 receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown, finding other ways to get him involved.
Watson again takes off as he's been so tough to stop down in here in the red zone the last few games. Donnie Miles made that tackle.
Now that time they motioned out Wayne Gallman. We saw a touchdown earlier when they motioned him out, left it empty. He ran the quarterback draw. Well, this time they motioned him out and they kept a linebacker in there just for that quarterback run, and it was Rashad who blew that play up.
Yet another 3rd down. It's the 13th for the Tigers, who have run double the number of plays in this game to the Tar Heels. 68-34.
And yeah, Carolina's down 5 for now.
Watson, look how he just worms his way for a 1st and goal. He's got speed. You talked about the improved power. He's just a wily runner, though, isn't he?
He's just instinctive. Both guards are pulling out in front. He takes his time, and then there's the cutback.
Didn't see this. There was no space there.
No, not at all. But watch how comfortable he is. Puts his foot in the ground, uses that length, and picks up the first down.
Gallman barrels in. Touchdown, Clemson. A 97-yard touchdown drive. 1 yard longer than their first half drive, and all of a sudden the Tigers are getting closer to that playoff.
A 96-yard drive and a 97-yard drive can really affect a defense and their confidence and their fatigue as this game wears on. The mental fatigue of 13 plays and 97 yards.
That's a great point. Mental and physical fatigue. And now Leggett trying to make it a 12-point game. So the turnover by Williams down inside the 5-yard line. The great pick by Tankersley set up this long march.
Yeah, great play by Goodson. They set up the interception there by Tankersley. And as we just said, 97 yards culminated by the touchdown by Wayne Gallman. And this offense right now starting to feel very, very confident, and they're that much closer to an undefeated season.
Welcome back to presentation, which is part of Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN and ABC. Remind you again later how you can contribute to join the cause. Clemson's second marathon touchdown march stretches the lead to a dozen now. Midway 3rd quarter, Kirk, and now some increased urgency for an offense. It's really been a big play attack all year, but not against these guys in orange tonight.
Well, not only that, now you're down 12 in the third quarter, and now you start to get in a little bit more of a predictable mode with your play calling, which allows this Clemson defense to pin their ears back that much more and come after the quarterback.
It's a high kick, and Logan's going to have a chance from the 9. Knocked down at the 25. So Marquise Williams tries to shake off that mistake when you come back. Carolina, one of the more efficient offenses in the country. They average 3.3 points per drive, which is a real good measurement of that. But they have not faced anywhere near the quality of defense Clemson is presenting tonight. Now they try to get Hood going, but he is hit immediately. Quick penetration there, and a tackle by Christian Wilkins, the freshman.
Watch Wilkins here, 42. Watch the extension, how he's able, right here in the middle. Watch how he just kind of works and it comes off. That's the athletic ability of a big defensive lineman. It's one thing to be powerful, but the quickness, using the hands and coming down and making a play, that's big time. That's a true freshman, like you said, too.
Williams delivers a strike, and fighting for first down yardage there is Bug Howard.
And there's a well-thrown ball. You and I up here and the fans at home, and Carolina Blue especially, waiting to see Williams find his rhythm. That was probably one of the more accurate throws that he has made all night. He put that right on the money in tight coverage there to Bug Howard.
Talking about a 65% passer who's thrown some beautiful passes this year. This is 5th completion. He's 5 of 16 now.
I would have never thought we'd be in the third quarter and he'd have his 5th completion. And it's a credit to Clemson defense and how they're confusing him and the receivers, affecting the timing.
Looking to throw again on first down. Protection breaks down. Now he throws it way downfield and over the head. That was just a no-hoper.
Yeah, Brent Venables told us this week, he said, we're going to have to mix up our looks. We're going to bring blitzes. We're going to come after him, try to get to him before he's ready. And the other thing we do, which we've done all year, is we're going to drop in coverage and we're going to cover him down, make him hold the ball, and allow Shaq Lawson and Kevin Dodd and Watkins and Reeder and company to get to him. That was, if you haven't watched this whole game, that last pass was exactly what Williams has been dealing with all night. Holding onto the ball, unsure of where to go, and he just has to throw it away.
You talked about this Clemson defense at times wearing down in the second half of games as Williams is trapped behind the line, but the Heels haven't run enough plays to wear anybody out.
No,
Tigers look fresh.
No, they do. They look as fresh right now as they did in the first half. And these linebackers right now have such confidence in what they're seeing. Ben Boulware and B.J. Goodson have been as active as I've seen them all year. They are trusting their reads and getting to the ball carrier in a hurry.
Tar Heels getting a little desperate here now. Inside of 6 minutes in the quarter. They need 10 on this third down.
They're all looking over to Brent Venables in the purple sweatshirt to get the call.
Williams. Protection breaks down as he just throws it into the ground. Wilkins again in the quarterback's face. 4th down.
Well, again, if you're the quarterback and you're trying to figure out where to go with the football, you got a receiver that's going to go here. You've got a receiver in Switzer that's going to go right here, and you've got a receiver here. But watch the coverage. Watch him looking into this defense. And look, you've got 2 guys up here. This guy's got tight coverage. You got tight coverage right here. Nowhere to go for the ball, so he has to get rid of it.
Mangili. He takes off. It's Carolina's turn to fail on a fake punt. Shaquid Rashad juggled it. Each team has had an unsuccessful, ugly-looking fake punt.
And again, the execution was so poor. I can't tell if this is called or not. He leaves right away, so it makes you think it's called. But you just, that play never had a chance.
Aren't punters supposed to do basically one thing?
Yeah.
Kick the ball.
Yeah.
Not run with it, not throw it.
No.
Mangili's actually not a bad athlete. In practice, they do work on a lot of fakes. That one did not work at all. And now Clemson with Gallman keep getting short yards on first down, really trying to put their foot down on the heels here.
Well, yeah, you're up by 12, and now you've got a chance to really separate yourself with the way the Clemson defense has been playing. Larry Fedora rolled the dice. He's got to realize that if by not converting there, and you give Deshaun Watson and this offense a chance to put more points on the board, the way the Tigers are playing defense, it's going to be tough.
Watson rolling out, looking for Scott. Touchdown, Tigers. That's the Deshaun Watson deep ball you expect to see, and Clemson pulling away.
He gets a matchup against a safety. Miles, watch him get his foot down. What focus by Artavis Scott. Left foot, throws the right foot down for good measure. Touchdown, Tigers. What a throw from the Heisman hopeful Deshaun Watson.
35 yards. They covered the 36 in 2 plays after they failed fake punt.
Good for Artavis Scott. He has been battling here the last few weeks through a knee injury, and just an amazing effort there to go up and make that catch.
First team all ACC receiver.
Getting a hug there from Taj Boyd.
Former quarterback to current one. In fact, there may not be a whole lot to talk about when it comes to the top 4.
There's always
we only got 4 hours.
About.
Is there 4 hours tomorrow?
Yeah, I think 4, yeah.
DJ Logan.
Got a lot of bowl games.
Out across the 40-yard line. And this was the 4 teams coming in, of course, top 4.
Yeah, we already know about this one. You know about this
Bob Soup's out recruiting this week. He didn't have to worry about a game.
No, and we're like right there. We're not quite going up there. We've got a part of a check.
They're kicking field goals in Indy. Each team's got 2, so it's 6-6. Hawkeyes and the Spartans will keep you closely posted, because if they don't manipulate the rankings and Clemson stays number 1, likelihood would you say the Big Ten champion would be the semifinal opponent for the Tigers if they don't move? Williams looking downfield and just over the head.
Wow.
Of his big play man, Hollins.
Well, they finally got Hollins, who's a true vertical threat downfield. Remember, we talked about Van Smith, the true freshman, being in for TJ Green, and Hollins had him beat. He got behind him. If the ball had a little bit more air under it, it's a touchdown. That's what Hollins does. You know, he's averaging 26 yards a reception. I mean, that's unbelievable. Most of his catches are downfield deep balls.
That's one Marquise would love to have back. He may not have many better looks than that, will he?
It was there. Big play. Gets him right back into the game.
Play clock down at 5 on this 2nd and 10 play. Hood's got it. Cuts back. Pinballing around for a pretty nice gain. It'll be 3rd and about 4.
You know, if you're on that sideline before this series, you're Williams, a senior who's been through so much. I don't know if there's another quarterback in the country that's been through as much as Marquise Williams. And you're a senior. You're challenging your team to keep fighting. Keep fighting. Let's go. Let's get back in this game. The way we can score, we can get back into this game.
They talked about the unity and the chemistry that came out of last season's debacle. Team blown out by Rutgers in a bowl game, embarrassed. And they've stuck together through thick and thin this year. But that's another misfire. Quinshad Davis, the all-time reception leader, didn't have a catch tonight.
No, and that time, I don't know. It's just I'm surprised to see Marquise Williams throwing some of these passes that he has made and just not seeing the normal accuracy you would expect to see from him. He had time to throw, but I just think Clemson's done such a good job of bringing pressure that even when they don't get there, he's not in a good rhythm and his feet aren't under him, and the ball has been sailing all night.
Heads up, because we've had some weirdness on punts tonight. This time, no fake from Mangili. Boots it away, and a fair catch made by Scott at the 23. Now Clemson up big. 19-point lead. Watson has had 13 straight completions, straddling the 2nd and 3rd quarters. 2 away from the school record. Gallman cuts it back. Watson got out in front, kind of got in the way of a defender, and Gallman scoots out near midfield.
Chris, this play is designed to go to the right. and it kind of works his way back, but this is just great vision. A great job of getting to the outside. His ball switches hands there to the left, allowing him to use his stiff arm if he needs it. And how about the backside there? Mitch Hyatt doing a good job along with Eric Macklin on the left side there.
23-yard game ball batted in the air, a diving pick. And Carolina with Naz Jones, their best defensive lineman, showing his athleticism, and the heels are in business still.
That is a heck of a play. He not only intercepts it, he got his hand on it. Gene Chizik says he is a future star. He's on the end. He goes up with the left hand, knocks the ball straight up into the air. And then how about the athletic ability to lay out and make the catch? There's the left hand. He doesn't give up on it. He puts his head straight up. Carolina's known for hoops. He looked like he was going for a rebound there. That was a tremendous athletic play by the big fella at 295 pounds.
Yeah, he's 6'5". As you said, only a sophomore, but he has a big, big future. So now, of Clemson's first turnover of the night, sets up the Tar Heels Clemson territory. They'll take another look just to make sure that Big Naz was able to collect that before it hit the ground.
Good job.
Well,
after further review, the ruling on the field stands. Clemson is not afforded the opportunity to challenge plays going forward.
So, stands not confirmed, but a great effort by Jones is rewarded with an interception. Hey.
There he is.
Hey. Ask for him.
He mobs a man. Quick trigger.
One of the many greats over the years who played defense on North Carolina. Now we'll see if Williams can get on track here and turn that into points. Trying to begin this comeback. Play action. Quarterback steps up again, has lots of room to run, tucks it, and runs out at the 26.
You know, Goodson and Boulware have been very active tonight. Watch them right up the middle. Good job picked up by Hood. Now go. You got to go. The linebackers are cleared out. You've got all that space. You got athletic ability. Take off. That's why that time Williams saw it, but a good job by picking up the blitz there by Elijah Hood to free him up.
Williams delivers over the head of Logan. He has overthrown so many passes tonight, Kurt. Adrenaline, or who knows?
Well, you're talking about a guy that's completed 64% of his passes this year. He has played for 3 or 4 years as a starter. I think he wants this so bad. He wants to play so well. This is hometown. This is a chance to put an exclamation point to his career. I think he's just pressing. He's just not comfortable. He's 5 now. How many? 5 completions on the night, 21 attempts.
Chucks it downfield, and finally, Quinshad Davis gets involved. A catch down inside the 5. Beautiful throw that time.
That was a perfectly thrown ball. What you kind of expect from him. Tankersley, this is about as good at coverage as you can have from the Clemson corner into the boundary, but the ball is thrown to the outside shoulder, and the sure-handed Davis holds on to it.
First and goal. Hood bangs down near the goal line. Tar Heels desperately needed the defense to make a play to set up a quick score. They're lining up quickly on second and goal. Quarterback kept it and cannot get free. Was trying to reach the ball for the goal line. Could not escape as Shaq Lawson had him wrapped up.
Shaq Lawson makes the play, but the rest of that defensive line was able to get down low, and Williams had nowhere to go with that football.
They've been stubborn on these short yardage situations all season long, have the Tigers. Think about the stop on the 2-point conversion tried by Notre Dame that would have forced overtime. Made a big stop against the Seminoles this season.
I think you've got to get to the outside. You've got to give the athletic Williams a chance to run it or throw it on the edge of the defense.
Got to hurry. Breaking the huddle with just 5 on the play clock. Quarterback keeps it. Barrels into the end zone.
That's exactly what you like to see. Get him to the outside where he has a chance. Defense attacks down. It's a one-on-one chance against Van Smith, who stayed at home, the safety. Remember, the true freshman, 23, who's in for T.J. Green, and the senior goes over top of the freshman for the touchdown.
So the tremendous interception by Jones, cashed in by the Heels, who marched 42 yards in 6 plays in just a minute 44.
And the way this Carolina offense can score, they're saying, hey, guys, we're back in this. That's what you're saying if you're on the sideline of Marquise Williams?
12-point game, late third quarter. Hold on. So now, Deshaun Watson off an interception. Back to work, protecting what is now a 12-point lead. The Heels just felt, Kirk, if they could get it into the fourth quarter, hang around long enough, maybe make the Tigers sweat with that #1 ranking, the playoff position on the line, they'd like their chances. Fuller. And C.J. Fuller knocked down at the 20.
We were at Indianapolis this morning for game day, and their fan base, they were believing. They felt their team had something to prove tonight.
Gallman breaks free. Gallman into the secondary and run out near midfield. Finally, Gallman really beginning to bust loose here in the third quarter.
Follows the tight end, Leggett, who's going to come over. Watch the little jump cut here. Watch him right there. The little stutter step, and then he's able to pick up just enough time there. Set up the block perfectly by the tight end, Leggett, and then again, there's the speed.
Got 31 yards, and now Watson keeps it and goes for about 6.
Go back to this Wayne Gallman jump cut. It's a thing of beauty. You know, he's known, Chris, really more about his power and how physical he can be. But what I've seen him as this year has gone on in his second year playing, I think he's become more elusive, much faster. He's a complete package back there to complement Watson in the backfield.
Watson does not hand it off, keeps it, and gets drilled by Drennan. Teammates say that Gallman's a real happy, smiley guy until he gets onto the field. And then they say he's a very serious man when he steps between the lines. And he runs like it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's like Watson.
Sean, yeah, slow to get up.
Chris, that time MJ Stewart looked like Drennan made the play, but watch Stewart come in from our right. He comes in from a long way from that nickel spot. Full momentum coming right into Deshaun Watson.
He puts his helmet on the non-throwing shoulder of the quarterback there. Ball came out late, too.
Yeah. And remember, Stewart was the one who hurt himself a little earlier in the game when Renfro. Watch how fast number 6 will flash right here. Boom, right there. So you had both of them sandwich.
Just keep an eye on the ball, too. And when it came out, they're wrestling with these, fighting. Not down until there. It's very close.
Kind of came down awkwardly. It's great to see him walking off. He is the franchise of Clemson.
Absolutely. And the backups have had very little meaningful work. Watson, 4th 100-yard rushing game in the last 5 and 402 total yards.
Looks like Kelly Bryant. They have 2 backups. Looks like Bryant, the freshman, will come into the game.
True freshman who's an excellent runner, has attempted only 9 passes this season, but has run for 156 yards. He figures to either run it or hand it off. Yep, gives it to Gallman, who picks his way for a first down and more down near the 30, and what'll be the final play of the third quarter.
How about him coming in on a 3rd down? Wayne Gallman gets the yards in the left side of that offensive line with Hyatt and McLean responsible for opening that up.
So the quarterback still being looked at. The Tigers head to the final quarter up by a dozen. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. We're back. The Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game, part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week, beginning of the final quarter. #1 ranked Clemson marching and up a dozen. Repe Booth told us, Kurt, they did review that play in which Watson was shaken up. They said he was down before the ball came out. And he's back out there to start this final quarter. Gives the ball to Gallman, who's now rushed for 113 yards. Plus a career-high 68 receiving yards after a very slow start. Had 3 big runs here in this half.
Yeah, it was surprising in that first half. The only running that Clemson was able to do was when Deshaun Watson, the quarterback, run. That and some big plays through the air. But you're right, the second half, they're starting to assert themselves a little bit better, and you're seeing Gallman having a little bit more room to run, and he's made some people miss, which has also helped him get those big gains.
Gallman again takes off, hammers down inside the red zone.
He looks fresh to me too. You know, he had an ankle against Wake Forest, but he's running with a kind of an attitude right now in his fourth quarter.
I agree. Had a fumble against South Carolina. Didn't have a great game, but you're right. He's on point tonight.
He sure is. I mean, when he does get some room, it's like he's been cooped up. He wants to get involved, and when he has had room, he sure is. He's accelerating. Again, known for power, but has great suddenness and quickness.
Dabo said he could have played against Wake. Maybe it's a good thing. You get your back, kind of keep him fresh. You win without him. And now he comes back ready to roll. Deshaun tried to get it back to Renfro, but there was heavy traffic, so he just threw it low.
I had to throw it low because you had two North Carolina players waiting, Drennan 17 and also Jones, who already has an interception. They went out there on that flanker screen, and if he would have thrown it to Peak, they would have been intercepted by Drennan, and more likely, Chris, it would have been a foot race between Drennan and Watson.
Watson takes off again. Gallman throws a block. Quarterback dives for a nice gain. It'll be 3rd and short.
Really like to see, after that injury where he went out, like to see him back and running the football. And if you looked at the first 6 games, they didn't run him that much. Only 9 carries a game for 39 yards on average. In the last 6 games, 13 carries, 87 yards a game. And we saw last week against South Carolina, he carried it 21 times for 114 yards. And again tonight, already 19 carries for 119 yards. So he has become a big part of their running game along with Wayne Gallman.
On 3rd and 4, around the end, Gallman, 1st and goal. Gallman, who's still a little bit raw as a running back, but has that toughness.
Watch the 2 guards pulling out. They do a good job of just being able to kind of get in the way and slowing people in their pursuit down, but it really was the block by Thompson, the freshman, that sealed the edge and just seemed to open that up for Wayne Gallman. And there's that speed again, easily gets to the corner and picks up the 1st down.
So after the deflected pick is cashed in for a touchdown by the Tar Heels, Clemson just goes right back to work with this running game.
Deshaun Watson working that play clock.
Gallman bangs forward, not much there. It'll be 2nd and goal. This would be an extremely deflating touchdown for Fedora's team to watch Clemson punch it in here.
Kind of in that sugar huddle where they'll break the huddle here and again work that play clock down as far down as they can.
Zach Brooks in the backfield, but the quarterback keeps it, and why not just gallop in the end zone? Take a bow, Deshaun. Now a restrained celebration. Just a little bit of a mini dab there as Clemson stretches the lead back out. What a drive, Kirk.
Yeah, another great drive. They have put together some long drives. You're used to seeing them score, and usually they can score in a hurry. 11 plays that time at 80 yards, and the play ends up being a zone read where he reads it perfectly. The defensive end, Bart, collapsed down on Brooks. He pulled it and walks into the end zone.
Good news is that Leggett, back kicking the PATs, has been perfect tonight. Well, over 500 yards for the 9th consecutive game. Tigers getting closer to the playoff. So Deshaun Watson now with a career-high 121 rushing yards. He's thrown for 289 and 3 touchdowns. And Clemson is back up by 19. Logan along the sidelines trying to work free, but he's penned in and hammered hard across the 25. Well, the Heisman ballots will be filled out electronically after tonight's games. Derrick Henry Many of the straw polls believe he's the front runner. Got going late, as he often does. Carried it 44 times against that Gator defense. What about Christian McCaffrey? Look at that, 461 all-purpose. Ran for one, threw for one, and caught one against the Trojans. And Deshaun tonight.
And Deshaun's had a big night. All three having an opportunity this weekend. And by the way, Christian McCaffrey, he's been doing that all year. That wasn't a one-game, wow, look at that. It's been going on all year.
Williams just spikes the first down throw. Baker Mayfield, another candidate. Obviously, the Sooners idle today. Keenan Reynolds, quarterback for Navy, has had a tremendous career and a great year as well. The Army-Navy game is coming up next Saturday. Dalvin Cook, the Florida State fans would say he's had a tremendous year as well, overshadowed a little bit by Watson in this conference.
Zeke Elliott at Ohio State, another great back. There are a lot of great candidates out there.
90-minute Heisman show could be a larger than normal group.
You're going to have your hands full, bud.
Weiss steps up, pump fakes, and just slides at the 30. Heels got to get points out of this drive, you'd have to think. And we mean 7 points.
Yeah, well, obviously they're going to need 7 points to get back to have a chance, but cannot say enough about Brent Venables' defense. This whole year, talking about a defense that was one of the best in the country a year ago, and they lost virtually everybody on the front 7. Only 2 starters back, and this defense has been as good, if not better, than they were a year ago.
Which is saying something, because they were #1 in a lot of big categories last year, losing those 8 key players. Big 3rd and 6. Williams in the pocket, delivers to a wide open receiver, and Quinshad Davis has running room. A mess up in the secondary, and they're down inside the 30.
Well, I think the motion in the formation confused Clemson. You see right here, you've got 3 guys. Everybody goes in a different direction, and they end up picking on Ryan Carter, who's a backup corner. He gets lost in coverage.
They get 40 yards. They play quickly, and now pass zipped down inside to Brandon Fritts. And the freshman tight end from Ohio takes it inside the 5.
A good quick read, and he throws it on a rope. An absolute laser is exactly how he had to throw it between the corner to the right and the safety in the middle of the field. Nice read and quick throw.
And now the Heels trying to punch it in quickly. Williams throws a dart flag down. Davis was just grabbed.
And Tankersley all over the back of Davis.
Pass interference. Defense. Penalty is automatic first down. Ball be placed at the 2-yard line.
Chris, in a blink of an eye, North Carolina now is 4 or 5 plays, and they've gone 70 yards. Tankersley all over the back. Both officials ended up making the call.
There was 3rd and 6. They find Davis and
boom,
then Fritz.
Boom, boom. Inside the 2-yard line.
It's Elijah Hood, like his quarterback, playing in his hometown, had a pretty quiet night so far. He's got it this time. Gets away from Boulware and dances into the corner of the end zone. And the Heels still have some life.
Boy, he's got some acceleration himself. We've talked all night about Wayne Gallman, but Elijah Hood, powerful back at 220 pounds. He's going to come right at you here. Time John Heck, the right tackle, pulled and kind of helped seal the edge. See him in the background. There's pylon cam. Nice block there by 71, the right tackle Heck. And look out down there.
17th rushing touchdown this year for Hood. That's 2 away from the Carolina record.
They're just kind of hanging around. They're not going away.
Lead is back to a dozen. 9:54 left. As they always do, coming out in force. Buying up a lot of tickets, and they can book plans for Miami perhaps if they can close this out, but the Heels are hanging around. Fuller misplays it, and now it'll be a touchback. There's our Pacific Life game summary. You look at so many of the stats in this thing, and you think, how in the world is Carolina still in the game?
Yeah, you're right about that. Wayne Gallman started off slow. They actually started to throw the ball to him in the first half to try to get him loose. And in the second half, he's been able to do what we've seen him do all year, which is run the football with a great deal of success. Heck of a throw here by Watson. Finds Artavis Scott for a touchdown. And you can see Deshaun Watson has had a big night again, accounting for 5 touchdowns so far for the Tigers offense.
So last Clemson drive was almost exclusively on the strength of the running game, and they feed Gallman again on first down.
This is where they're going to continue to work clock, and if you're Gene Chizik in North Carolina, you've got to really challenge your team to hold up against the run and win the battle at the line of scrimmage. There's Gene Chizik right there.
Really satisfying year. He was so excited pregame. And his defense rises up and stops Gallman there. Rashad, he just wanted to get the bad taste out of his mouth, Kirk, from the way it ended at Auburn, and a tremendous job. It's a lot of the same players as last year, so you got to give coaching a ton of credit.
Oh, a ton. It's one of the best coaching jobs on one side of the ball that I've seen the entire year, from where they were a year ago, 39 points a game, 498 yards a game, to now this year only giving up 20 points a game.
Can they force a 3 and out now? Tigers need 6. Watson on the move, delivers a strike, and Scott dropped it. Another drop for Clemson, and that one was big, because that would have moved the sticks and set a punt.
Chris, you're right, and it's a great route by Scott. He gets separation, which is tough to do from Stewart. And yeah, the ball's low, but Scott is one of the better receivers in the ACC, and he and Deshaun Watson work so hard in the offseason, and they throw so many balls to Watson to Scott. That's a catch he's got to make with so much on the line here on a third down to maintain possession and work that clock.
What do you think from Teasdall? Another fake here?
No, I don't think you'll ever see that the rest of his career.
I think that's safe to say.
They may call a
that
fake
was one of the tongue lashings of the year that he got. I mean, well, he's messing around. He kind of delays and then boots it down there, but the coverage team is all over it, and it's going to roll dead. So that's what Teasdall's on the team to do. Right there. Knock it dead. Nice punt. Heels take over, down a dozen.
You didn't put some love.
So a Tar Heel team with a core of veterans that have endured so much, 3 different coaches, an academic scandal, postseason ban that kept them out of this game 3 years ago. Hanging around, they've got the ball back, 79 yards from the end zone, but still with a chance, down by 12. Play action, Williams takes a shot downfield, and Switzer makes the catch out across the 40.
Wow.
Nice ball.
Time to throw, which was key. It gave Switzer enough time to work his way across the field, and he was able to locate him because of the time by the offensive line, the time that he had to throw.
It's the second catch for Switzer. Now a fastball. Could not control that from Williams.
Remember, the last time North Carolina had the ball, 5 plays, 74 yards, in a minute 40. So that's what they're capable of doing. We still have 8:16 to go in this game. They're down 12. If Marquise Williams puts together another drive, they put points on the board. All of a sudden, if you're a Clemson fan, hold on.
Absolutely. Williams, not much room there. Wrestled down by Goodson. It'll be third down.
You know, for a Clemson defense, it's had such a big night. I mean, they have played well up front. They've done a good job of confusing, especially on third down, where North Carolina's only 4 of 12. The game has pretty much been put on their shoulders for Brent Venables and the Tigers with this lead.
You pointed out, Kirk, it's a defense that sometimes has been susceptible to body blows from opponents deep in games. They don't use a whole lot of people, especially in the secondary and in linebacker, do they?
Shaq Lawson out of the game.
Williams flushed on third down, cuts it back, takes a shot, but moves the sticks to the Tigers' 46.
Interesting, on third down, Shaq Lawson's out. Austin Bryant, the true freshman, is in. He would be coming from right here, the blind side. They rush 3, meaning the 8 defenders have eyes on him, but he still picks up the first down.
Williams now looking downfield, and no chance for Bug Howard to make a play. Tankersley was in coverage. Tankersley's a guy, Kirk, he's played 677 snaps coming in. Curse has played almost that many. Look, this is a 10th game in 10 weeks. These guys, they're just hanging on at this point.
They've had to defend a lot of different plays. Not only that, Chris, but I think the fact that it's been 10 straight weeks, the wear and tear physically and emotionally, and everything that's at stake when you're number 1. Everybody wants to take down number 1.
Williams delivers a big cushion over there. That's an easy pitch and catch. And Davis is going to get first down yardage.
Yeah, you just don't see that very often from the corners from Clemson. From Alexander or Tankersley. That time it's Tankersley into the bounder to the short side. He was bailing and backing off of Adams, and a very simple read and throw for a veteran like Marquise Williams and Davis, both seniors. Great chemistry.
Williams pressured. Ball's out. Tigers have it. Austin Bryant, the freshman you mentioned, came in and recovered the fumble, and that could secure a playoff bid for Clemson, perhaps.
And Chris, earlier Bryant was in on that third down on the opposite side where Shaq Lawson normally is. Well, Shaq Lawson's back in the lineup, and he just has been doing this all year. This is Spain trying to slow him down, and there is that relentless effort. Ben Boulware blitzes number 10. He gets in as well. Hood cannot slow Boulware down, but the combination of two defenders, Boulware and Lawson, they've been doing it all year for the Tigers, and they come up with maybe the play of the year.
When you're tired and you're just trying to hang on, there's one way to get off the field. Go knock the ball out of the quarterback's hands. And now with 6:38 to play, figured to see a heavy dose of Wayne Gallman. As Clemson just tries to get to the finish line here. Head home for the pizza party tomorrow. And then the playoffs. Gallman cuts it back. Gallman has space. Big gain down inside the 35.
You're right about Wayne Gallman running the ball. But what you love to see, and when Peak blocks 19, it's watch to the left. Watch Jerome Peak block. Talk about him being an unselfish guy. He's become better known for his blocking as he is as a receiver. The only guy that's been around that played in 2011 on that ACC Championship team, came in with Sammy Watkins, has been through a lot with some injuries, really put it together this year and having an outstanding senior year.
I love it when you salute receivers who make blocks on the edge. The dirty work of that position,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Gallman again. Just running downhill hard. 9 more for the Tigers.
I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I've seen him run with such conviction as he's run here in this second half. I think he was frustrated with the way the first half went. Could not get loose. And in this second half, the line doing a better job, but I'm telling you, he's just running through arm tackles. He could have been stopped there for maybe a 3 or 4 yard gain, but instead picks up 8 or 9.
You know, guys work with him is Terry Allen, the former Clemson great, and he was an NFL stud, had almost 9,000 rushing yards in his career. And Tony Elliott, who was the co-offensive coordinator, is the running backs coach, but he's calling the plays, and it's really Terry Allen has played an instrumental role in Gallman's improvement this year. He's got it again on the option pitch and is down inside the 15. And what a role model, Terry Allen. He was drafted 241st out of college.
Yeah.
Willed himself to be a great player.
It does a good job of working with these players, not only on how to be a great running back, but the humility that you carry yourself with, which is exactly how Wayne Gallman plays the game. How about that speed option? You're a defensive end, and you got Deshaun Watson coming downhill right at you. You got to make up your mind. Are you going to take him away, or are you going to go to the pitch back? Take away Deshaun Watson. He deals it to Gallman, and he picks up about another 15 yards.
Gallman says, just feed me again. And they do. Back to the boundary. Earns about 4 yards.
When you talk to the Clemson coaches and you watch them, in the past it's been about Sammy Watkins and the C.J. Spillers of the world and getting the ball on the edge, the passing game, and Taj Boyd. And I think this year you can really see the confidence that they have in the offensive line and the running game. It's no longer just about the perimeter. It's about the physicality and running the football with Gallman and Deshaun Watson. What's ironic about that is the concern when this season started was the line. 5 new starters on this offensive line, and they've become a real strength for this team.
Gallman again picks his way. This is a slow death for Carolina as he gets down near the first down marker. It'll be 3rd and short.
And this offensive line in this system isn't asked to, get down in a 3-point stance and blow people 5-7 yards off the ball. Old school style of football like you might see with Stanford or Wisconsin. This is more of just kind of get a hat on a hat, cover a guy up and let Wayne Gallman kind of find the hole, and he has such great vision and quickness that you don't have to blow people off the ball. Just like I said, cover him up and let him do the rest.
This time it's Watson rolling out, keeping it. He is dropped for a loss. Kason Collins, the linebacker, was there, and it's 4th down.
Heck of a play there by Collins.
Tried to get Watson his 3rd rushing touchdown. He's also rushed for over 100 yards, 122 to complement Gallman. On 4th down, they're keeping the offense on the field here.
He'd go up by 15 and make it a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, obviously another touchdown. So
Sweeney's going to let the play clock wind it down and then see if he spends a timeout. Looks like they'll take the delay, kick the field goal.
It's here.
You know, so they took a delay of game to move it back, and now Greg Hugel, who missed early from 47 with this 27-yarder, and the reliable kicker knocks it right through. So Clemson, get ready, fire up the pizza ovens, and get ready for the playoff, up by 15. If you'd like to watch the post-game trophies ceremony, you can follow it on ESPN3. 2 minutes, 14 seconds to play. Tar Heels will get the ball back down 15 after the chip shot field goal. Touchdown would have erased any hope. But there's still a 2-score game in theory. So a very satisfied looking Deshaun Watson. 26 of 42. 289, 3 touchdowns, the 1 pick, and as a runner carried it 22 times for 122 and a couple more touchdowns. So he's up to 40 touchdowns responsible for this season. Actually 41. Let's not slight him. 41 total touchdowns. And don't want a big return, so they just boot it on the ground. Eventually picked up at the 25. And Romar Morris is knocked down. Our LG V10 moments on this championship Saturday. There is a flag, by the way, late after the return. Let's check out that first, but I'll show you some of the memorable moments from today.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against number 24.
Wow.
15-yard penalty. This is 24's first unsportsmanlike conduct.
You know, they got Mark Fields. That is another mental mistake. We'll sort that out. The Heels are going to have great field position. Boy, Herschel Walker's single-season SEC rushing record failed today. Just a monster afternoon again for Derrick Henry as Alabama secures the SEC, and you'd believe a playoff spot. Stanford beat USC for the 2nd time. They win the Pac-12, but the bad news is they needed a Clemson loss to make a case.
Probably they are headed to the Rose Bowl now.
But how about that penalty? A dead ball sets the Heels up at midfield, and now Williams scampers for 5. That's just inexcusable. There have been a lot of those tonight for Clemson.
And it's a freshman, Mark Fields, who's from Charlotte. Hadn't been playing a lot, and Dabo Swinney again. I mean, he's been working a few of those players over when they make mental mistakes. That's all you can do as a coach, and then get in the film room and hope they learn. But even his teammates are trying to calm him down. Fields is a freshman. Only chance he gets is special teams.
Williams pressured. Hit as he throws. Jump ball was over the head. And the receiver there, Alexander, was in coverage. They're not showing a lot of urgency for being down 15 in the last 2 minutes here.
No, and they better find somebody to help Bentley Spain, the left tackle, because 90 in orange, he's a handful, as we've seen all year. Shaq Lawson again gets the pressure and gets in from the blind side to affect Marquise Williams.
Need 6 on this 3rd down. They pick up the pressure this time, and Williams delivers, but over the head. of Mac Hollins, who was open across the middle. It's 4th down. Ford Rappo follows the game, and this is it for Carolina to keep any hope alive. Got to get the 6 yards.
And again, they've got to do, I don't know if they're going to chip with a tight end to help. Got to do something to slow down the pressure from the blind side of Williams.
Do you blitz if you're Venables? You keep coming after the quarterback?
Well, that's been effective, but right here's the guy that they've got to watch.
Now they rush only 4. Williams has room, has a 1st down, and a lot more weaving down in the red zone. Minute and a half to play, and the Heels are threatening.
Wow, interesting. Boulware blitzed, but they played man-to-man under, and they lost the quarterback. And because of that speed, he picks up huge yards.
The chains weren't even set, and the Heels are playing, and Williams throwing for the end zone. Working on Alexander over there was Davis. 2nd down.
The chains are set. Balls are being snapped. What's going on
Those
out
guys
there?
over there were hustling as they could down the sidelines, and the Heels are ready to go.
They're not slowing down for anything. That ball gets spotted. They're ready to roll.
There's urgency now. But Davis has to come all the way across the field and off.
They still have all 3 timeouts. If they can score without using them, it becomes interesting. Got to figure Clemson, if they get the ball back, runs 3 times. They need to save all 3 of those timeouts.
Williams delivers short. Catch made. Switzer escapes and scores, and hold on. The Heels cut into the lead.
Go back to the unsportsmanlike penalty by Mark Fields on the kickoff. Gave him great field goal range, gave him life, and how about Switzer? Tough little guy, 5'10", 185 pounds, electric, and another mental error cost Dabo Swinney. They had this game put away.
Weiler for the PHC to make it an 8-point game. Knocks it through. That took only a minute 1 to cover the 49 plays.
49 yards because of the penalty on the kickoff return.
So now, having those 3 timeouts, do you kick it deep and play defense? The Tigers are expecting an onside kick here.
You got to kick an onside kick.
They've tried a couple. Weiler has not succeeded this year. But all of a sudden, you're right, this game looked to be completely over. They got the stop and forced the field goal attempts.
Clemson at times tonight their own worst enemy.
You've got a couple kickers in there, so who's going to end up booting it? There's deception right here. Gets the hop. It was mishandled. Ball is still bouncing around. And the Heels have it in midfield. A flag did come in.
I think it's offsides on North Carolina.
Offsides. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Re-kick.
So take away the recovered onside kick. It was Freeman Jones, the kicker, who came in there and booted. Then it was recovered, but they're going to have to re-kick it now.
I want to see where this offsides is, because I didn't see it.
I didn't either.
Dave?
Let's take another look from this angle.
30's the closest, but he's not offsides. Nobody's offsides unless it was on the other side. Unless it was from the other side.
That shot doesn't show, to me, doesn't show anybody offside.
Nobody's offsides. Flag will come from the bottom. Nobody's offsides. It looked like Hunter Crawford, the linebacker. Dave, is that reviewable?
That is not a reviewable play.
Wow.
All right. The 30's the closest, but I have to agree with you. I don't see a clear offsides there.
Crawford was number 30, the linebacker.
Neither did Fedora. Wow.
Oh, my God.
That took a hop. It looked like it was mishandled by the Tigers, recovered at the 50, and the Heels with 3 timeouts.
Oh,
and a minute and 11 would have been in business. The same look on this onside kick. This time it's Weiler, and this one's fielded. The hit made. It didn't go 10 yards, but the ball came out. A scramble now back at the 30. Orange ball. You can read the lip of the officials, and Clemson has recovered, but not without another adventure on that attempt.
Wow. That's a shame.
Now, this guy's got a running start on the previous attempt, Kirk, and maybe the official just anticipated it was going to be offside, but it wasn't a correct call. Here's the second one.
Wow, they go to the other side. Oh, a great hit there by the linebacker, Schottmer. Ball is loose, and now it's just, I thought Elijah Hood might get on top of it. Switzer's right there.
Renfro at the bottom of the pile, I think, is going to get credited with the recovery. It didn't go 10, but it was played, so you can hit the guy there.
I still want to go back to the first one, Chris. Maybe we're missing something. Let's check again.
No.
There's nobody offsides.
Not even really within a yard.
No.
Timeout.
So that call, not reviewable, would have given North Carolina the football at the 50, down 8. Instead,
with 3 timeouts.
Yeah. Instead, Clemson now will have a minute 8 to just bleed out a hard-earned win, and now a challenge from Carolina on this ruling of a Clemson recovery. Hasn't been the easiest year for ACC officials, that's for sure. A lot of funny stuff. This had been, I think, a very well-officiated game until that moment. So, Dave, they'll challenge and look at the ruling of a Clemson recovery, but isn't this tough to overturn with replay?
Very much so. You got to look for 2 things: a recovery in the immediate and continuing action of the play. Nobody stopped playing, and you have to be able to see a clear recovery. It has to be clear.
Here's what they'll check. You're right, Kirk. Schottmer delivered a big shot, and that knocked the ball loose. And then the scramble is on, and Renfro, number 13 there for the Tigers, I think reached around and get the ball. So,
yep. You know, Michigan State.
This will stay,
Chris, in Indianapolis. Michigan State is in. They beat Iowa, like you said. We know about Oklahoma. We know about Alabama. Looks like Clemson after see how this gets settled here with this challenge, but. Now it comes down to how do you rank these top 4? Iowa's now out. And you've got Michigan State in, you got Oklahoma in, Alabama in.
The field is confirmed.
And now it looks like Clemson in.
Confirmed as Clemson ball with a minute 8. Now, Dabo Swinney was adamant. He felt that if they beat the number 10 ranked team in the playoff committee rankings here on a neutral field, that having been number 1 in every set of rankings, he firmly expected to keep that top seed.
I can't imagine the committee with him being undefeated and with some of the teams that they've had to play, Notre Dame, Florida State, North Carolina. Watson makes a couple of guys miss and just needs to protect the ball more than gain yards as the Heels will spend a timeout. You know, Alabama has 7 wins against teams that won 8 games or more. And they've looked very good in these last 6, 7, 8 weeks.
The eye test versus the resume, right?
Exactly. And that's what Jeff Long and the committee, when they get into the room tonight and in the morning, those are the things they're going to have to talk about. It's not just about the resume. And we get caught up in the resume, but it's not just the resume.
But it is just about the order, because we know the 4 teams. That's a lot.
Yep.
So there's no suspense, unlike last year with Baylor and TCU and Ohio State. So we know the 4 teams, or at least we think we do.
What the suspense is, who's going to play who and where. Well, I mean, that's still interesting.
And I've wondered from the start, because of the fluidity of the rankings near the end of the process last year, whether or not they might move some teams around as Gallman fights for a yard. You know, they would never say that matchup manipulation is part of the equation, but if you start moving teams, moving Clemson down, for example, or Alabama up, or not having the Big Ten team in that 4th spot, they could be accused of trying to adjust the matchups for whatever reason.
Well, I think after watching all these games today and what was at stake coming in with Michigan State and Iowa being a 4-5 game, and with the way that game unfolded, I don't want to assume anything, but I think I would speculate that the Michigan State beating Iowa will probably be at 4. So I think it's really more about how do they deal with Clemson, Oklahoma, and Alabama? What order are those 3 teams?
if you keep Clemson in number 1, they would be placed down to the Orange Bowl New Year's Eve against the number 4 seed. Top seed giving geographic preference. Watson's got to keep her around the left side and just dives down at the 20, and that will do it. Not without some drama and a little controversy at the end with that phantom offsides call. But it looks like the player of the year in the ACC is going to be the quarterback of the ACC champions. The Dr. Pepper unrivaled player of the game. Not much suspense there. 421 total yards, 5 touchdowns responsible for. Victory formation as the Tigers are going to win their 16th in a row. Next up, New Year's Eve in the playoff, or the champions of the ACC. Go win it all, said Fedora to Sweeney. Disappointment again for Marquise Williams. Losses bookending the Tar Heels season here in Charlotte. And the quarterback just 11 of 33.
Class from Larry Fedora.
And now, Heather, once again with Dabo Sweeney, it's become a familiar ritual.
It's a bit of a tradition for the two of us, indeed, Dabo. Congratulations, Coach. You told me that last year you had to sit and watch this one on TV, and it was the ultimate frustration. You vowed that it would be you this year. How good does it feel to fulfill that goal?
Well, it feels great. You know, this division, we've lost one game the last 2 years and hadn't been able to make it to the championship. You got to go undefeated to get to our championship. So just proud of our guys, man. 13-0. In 1992 when I was playing, that was good enough for the national championship, but not anymore. All it does is get us a chance to go play for it. But, man, what a great game. That's what college football is all about. Hey, North Carolina, goodness gracious. Man, I'm glad that's over. I'm glad that's over. Great effort on their part. Just our team has had heart and guts all year long. I mean, they have found ways to win, whether it's a big turnover, a big play. We got the best player in this conference and the best player in the country in Deshaun Watson. I think he proved that again tonight. But at the end of the game, our offensive line took the game over. I don't know what we ran for, but it was a bunch. We ran a ton of plays, had some mistakes, and then our defense, had a couple of big turnovers, none bigger than that last one right there at the end to give us the ball back. But what a great win. Happy for the Tiger Nation, 13-0. And we're looking forward to a pizza party tomorrow in Death Valley, baby.
Yeah, you made a promise. You're definitely going to have to keep that. Coach, you talk about being undefeated. You're number 1 in the nation. Now you're ACC champs. What are you the most proud of?
I'm just proud of our team and our staff for coming together. You don't accomplish things like this without a great belief in one another and a love for one another. And these guys, I told them tonight they already had won this game. They won it, from January till right now. And tonight was just go take care of business. But a group of winners, and listen, man, I'm just fortunate to be a part of it. The good Lord has planted me here in Clemson and given me the opportunity to lead these young men and a great staff, and I'm thankful for that. It's been a special season, but we ain't done yet. We still got a little more in us, but this was a lot of fun tonight.
All right, so Dabo, I'm going to give you the chance to make your case to the committee on where you should be ranked tomorrow.
Well, we got 3 top 10 wins. Anybody else got that? I don't think so, and we're 13-0. Can't do no better than winning them all. Nobody made it easy on us either, so that ought to be an easy decision for them. So we'll look forward to figuring out where we're going to go and who we're going to go play, and we'll give our players off next week. Got a lot of recruiting to go do as the ACC champs for the 15th time, and we'll keep rolling.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the great win. Enjoy that pizza party. Let's head over to Tom Rinaldi with Deshaun Watson.
Thank you very much, Deshaun. On the field before the game, your coach said it's a championship, so it's simple. Get the ball in number 4's hands. What does your coach's faith mean to you?
It means a lot. He trusted me to lead this team, lead this offense, to get the big wins. And that's the reason why I play this game. For moments like this and times like this, and that's the reason why I committed here.
How do you describe the journey from committing to all the other schools that came after you in the interim, to the knee injury, to taking this team over, to winning a conference title?
Honestly, it's just been a blessing. When I committed here, I knew it was the right choice. And then when I came here and I had the injuries, I really didn't know what was going on. But, I kept faith in God, and I knew he was going to take me on the right path. And this time last year, I was getting ready for ACL surgery. And now look at me, a year from now, God, he's amazing. And, just give him all the glory.
You said that it was a lifelong dream from the time you were a little boy to win a Heisman Trophy. You've never been to New York City. What do you think it will mean to have the chance, very likely here, to bring your mom, Deanne, to New York with you?
It'll be a blessing. I've never been to New York City, and my mom never been to New York City. The farthest she's been is probably Boston, from when we had Boston College last year, but it'll be a blessing, and it'll be a great trip. We're going to embrace it if I have the opportunity to go and just enjoy it.